Moon Muffins. It has been a while since we've made some long format content. We're going to hang out, talk about the state of the world without getting too negative and heavy. We'll try. I'm going to draw some cards for you guys and just kind of shoot the shit because it's been a while and I've been wanting to transition back into long format content, and my life is finally allowing that to happen. So, what I want to do for those of you who follow me on short format content, thank you very much. I am going to be doing more creative stuff on there because I just got to get it out of my system. And right now, the devil, specific demon in particular, for those of you who are seasoned Moon Muffins, you might know who I'm talking about. I don't speak by name of them anymore, not because I want to be weird about it or persnickety. It's just the energy, the collective energy, like on short format content, witch talk, that sort of stuff, it's just so fucking parasitic. And the more deep you go into your path, the less you want to talk about, right? And in my case, because the world is shifting and it synchronizes with my own expansion, I want to be more creative on those platforms and just do my thing. You know, I'm a bit do my thing sort of person, and I wish more people had the confidence to do that. And the message that I've been getting, I actually have the devil's card here in reverse for you guys, is to play. You have to stop with these limiting beliefs just because the world is going through some chaos, especially if you operate on an undercurrent or a bit backwards. Like, for instance, some of us that are really aligned with this path, and it doesn't mean it has to be for everybody, but when everything goes fucking nutty and chaotic, it works out for us. It's like a backwards sort of energy. I don't know how to explain it. It always happens and I hate it. It's bittersweet. But the thing is it's an opportunity for us to disconnect and decenter ourselves from society a bit. Like, this is kind of a gray area, all right? And I'm going to be talking about some shadow work and just energy reading that I get from, like, on a meta level, all right, as an Aquarius. But you can't be overconsumed with this shit because it is manufactured for you to be overconsumed and stressed out and worn down, so you don't lock in and do the things that you want to do with your life. And you don't need to do it in terms of being seen by the world. The message is just play anyways. Like, I make videos because it's fun. I'm not trying to chase anything. You know, I like to have opportunities for fiscal expansion because that kind of mirrors our own expansion sometimes. Not all the times, but sometimes it does when we start to get out of our spiritual head and back into the material world, which is a checkpoint in your own evolution when you go through shadow work and you go through the dark night of the soul over and over and over again. And it's just awkward for those of us who have been doing this while the world is just in fucking shambles. You know, it's really chaotic. We're in dead internet territory. We're all occupied by Israel. I'm an American immigrant here in Australia. It's the same shit, you guys. People glamorize it here, and it's always this like fucking tall poppy sort of syndrome if you like somewhere else better than here. You know, Americans do it too. It's fucked everywhere. And the best thing that has happened to me is to kind of being forced out of the system, right? And what's awkward for me is when I've talked about this sort of stuff in depth on short format content, because sometimes I'll make long videos on there, like 15-minute videos, and fucking people don't like it. That's too bad. If I feel like doing something, I'm going to do it anyways. I don't do it for the views, or I'm not going to be cucked out to the algorithm. I do what I want to, but I try to tell people you can have the life that you desire. You have to decenter from all of this noise. And people go, oh, but you're going to lose your empathy. Nobody has empathy. You're going to go, no, yes, I do. Listen, to the depths of us, on an energetic level, and let's be real for a minute, nobody fucking cares about the shit that's going on in the world, because if we did, we would jump out of our gilded cages. And we would do what we have to do to dismantle this sort of shit. And people like myself, my energy is very heavily aligned with dismantling corrupt systems. I have been in legal disputes, in layers with government and bureaucracy. That's how I operate. I don't like being fucked over. I don't like innocent people being fucked over. I don't like this noise. And I have been exhausted because anytime I participate in society, even though I've been blessed enough not to have to, I've done it to build my skills, it's always some corruption in the workplace, in school, something, and then you end up what? The scapegoat? You end up the big, bad, scary scapegoat because you're the only one that steps the fuck up. And people get mad at you for getting blood on your hands, ethical blood, because you're doing the right thing. You're calling out people who want to perpetrate or hurt other people, and nobody else does. Everybody kind of has their dick up their ass, and they're like, oh, well, we can't say anything because, because we want to lose our jobs. I understand that. But I also don't want to hear people getting all rattled going, oh, you're talking about privilege. No, bitch, we need to fucking disconnect from this shit, lock in areas that we need to, and step the fuck away from it and let it upheaval itself. Because this is not going to get better. And the message that I have been getting from my demon is to just focus on things that make me content and build skills. It's not about just sitting in abundance and all of this bullshit like I've seen on TikTok, and like he calls them the plastic crown consorts. All of these people who just parade around and talk about their spiritual hierarchy and all this bullshit, and they just think, oh, I'm just going to be so privileged and I can do everything, but you need to apologize. You gotta fucking apologize for your privilege. And it's hypocrisy. I hate to say it because like the human in me wants everybody to just succeed and live well, and you're working hard and you deserve a break. If you're disabled, you deserve some fucking, leniency. I don't care about taxes going toward that shit. I care that these motherfucking baby eaters are using our taxes for genocide and for their own self-indulgence and telling us to cut back. And my energy that I have been getting from him is like, you know what? Cut back. You have an abundance. I have a 1/4 acre to play in. And I'm like, okay, and that's what I've been doing. I've been building my businesses without chasing anything. My life really works out. I am given resources, ridiculous and specific resources that I need or want to create things. And it has been amazing. I love how my life works out, especially the more aligned I am with myself. And of course with my demon, my spirits. But I'm well taken care of. But I've had to decenter from this shit. I've had to let go of guilt when I'm resting. I've had to let go of chasing and inadequacy because we're mad. I can guarantee, and Gen Z, you're a part of this too, like especially older Gen Z, because I think that you kids, no offense, some of you guys are kids, need to not fucking work in this system. I have 2 young adult kids and they're in the United States right now and they're working so they can gain experience and learn how to deal with people. But they have their own skills that they've been building here on the homestead when they're here in Australia. And I just want people to decenter from this shit because it's not going to pay. And it's ridiculous and unethical. But I can guarantee that if you are Gen X or a millennial, I'm an older millennial, you're probably fucking pissed. Because you probably worked hard, you might have gone to school, you've done the best that you can, you might have had circumstances that cornered you and made it really difficult for you to get to where you want to go. And we get told in society, oh, if you do one fucking slip up, you should have made better choices with your life. If you fuck it up just a little bit, or if life is just rickety for you, that's just too bad, you got to work harder. I'm over it. I work really hard, but I have the energy for it because I'm disconnected from all of this noise. I don't give a fuck about your politicians. I ain't voting for shit because they're all guilty. They are all guilty by association. Not a single fucking one of your politicians that pays for empathy coaches on our tax dollars gives a shit about you or your demographic. They are told and coached to so we can have manufactured divide and the illusion of a choice. And look where we are. It is not getting better, and everybody thinks, oh, it's just one guy that everybody voted for. It's not. That one guy is just a big fat puppet for some other big guy with their demi-war god that's been fucking things up since antiquity. And a lot of us occultists know that. And then it becomes, oh, it's anti-Semitic. You can't talk anything about the Jews. And it's like, no, there is a sector of Zionists that are ruining the world and causing genocide and stealing our tax money and telling us that we need to be proud. I've seen this shit, to die for Israel. You can go fuck yourself. And the energy that I get from the devil is now is the time for us to create. Now is the time for us to disconnect. That doesn't mean you got to give up all your vices and your comforts. It means, is it really worth the stress? Or could I be doing something in the meantime to better myself? Because with my demons, it's really about our own evolution. And like with skill building, for me, I have a lot of skills, and it's very heavy when you have skills and talents because people don't fucking like you. They like you from afar. But the reality of somebody having to dedicate that much time to themselves, I've got about 80 years worth of skills. Literally, I have huge chapters in my life of different skill building. And, I play musical instruments. I'm a chef. I'm into civilian tactician, and I've shared a little bit of that on short format content, and people get triggered over that too. It took a lot of wear and tear on my body, on my mind. And for me, I was trying to validate myself, but the devil taught me you don't need to chase validation. You just need to be happy with where you are. Like when you're in flow state, a lot of you guys are musicians, because I've talked to you, and some people are so nice and share their music with me and stuff. And you understand the flow state that you get into. That is the energy the devil's been telling me. Because when you get into that flow state, what happens? You're in the present and you're grounding. And then you have energy, and then you can play guitar for 10 hours before your hands gas out, or you can go and garden, and it doesn't seem like a lot of work. For those of you who might garden, I'm a gardener. Sometimes I'll go outside to check on the plants, and then all of a sudden I'm out there for hours, and it feels good. And because people are so centered around this system, they will yell, "Ew, you got privilege. Bitch, you don't know fucking shit about anybody's life. You are judging me based on a 2-minute video." It's weird to me. That's how programmed we are. And it's within our own dark spiritual communities. So it makes me feel like we're under the impression here as a collective that the majority of people are just playing house with themselves, with their inner dialogue. They're using these archetypes to either extract power from by proxy, or just to supplement areas in their life that are, they're missing. And that's not how it's supposed to be. Like, for those of you who are old souls, we fucking knew when we first walked this earth that the whole point was to ground and expand and enjoy our lives. If you're a mechanic, you're building shit, you're alchemizing stuff. If you're making bread, if you're, a person who does beadwork or whatever it is, you make jewelry out of crystals. We're supposed to be doing that shit. We learn a lot about our own coding. It is all coding and expansion. And that is what he has been really, really, really emphasizing on me for years. But in my case, it's been deprogramming from needing self-validation, because people won't validate you when you believe in yourself. They will brag about you sometimes, or just completely take your credit for shit you've done. And you can have this huge sense of injustice. And when you have a big mouth, it gasses you out. And then on top of that, you have all of this fucking noise going on in the world. That's a distraction. that is in your way of being a god, a goddess, a real god or goddess. Not this bullshit that I see online, this fucking parade. It's not, these terms are just terms that we use to try to articulate a certain sector of consciousness being expanded in different dimensions. And when we realize that, on our path, we realize that when we confront ourselves, we realize some of us have a lot of astral experiences. So I know not everybody can relate to that. I have to sometimes be careful, because my experiences are very intense and they're confronting to a lot of people. So I feel like a fucking monster in this community. I really do. It's not fun. But what I've learned going through all of this intensity for the past, probably 6 or 7 years, knowing I was going to end up here during this time, is that I had to deprogram from feeling worthless. I had to walk the spectrum of worthlessness. And I had to realize my own self-worth isn't determined on how much I do for people or how much I prove to myself, but it's just how much of my own energy and empowerment I can take back from this system that wants me to be on my fucking knees groveling. And I wish that I can get through to people about that, but a lot of people are stuck in this glamorous fucking glory on this shit. So you got the star right here, and then you have the 6 of Swords. You have to transition. If you want to be this, you have to transition. See, the devil's in reverse. This energy is all about being limitless. It's all about decoding yourself within those limitations that you have, that I can't, but you don't understand. I don't have the resources. Oh, it would be nice. That must be nice. The thing is you just feel lethargic because the system takes so much from you, and so do people in your environment. And you have to fucking let go. And that's the reality of it. It's not easy. And I wish that I can get people to understand, because people take offense so fucking easily over everything these days, because they've been programmed to and exhausted down. that you can't get through to people, so you have to disconnect from that too. Like I've had to learn that because I'm not trying to get myself stuck into this sort of spiritual heroism that people find themselves like, oh, I'm here to lead people. Fucking lead yourselves. Because I'll tell you something, what like short format content has taught me is people that are consumers of short format content and they're trying to find something from themselves, they will worship people so easily in those communities, and then it consumes these people. And now their whole fucking entire paradigm is based on how many numbers I have on TikTok. And I'm like, bitch, what the fuck is happening to everybody now? We need to wake up, take a big fat fucking 8-ball of meth, I'm kidding, and wake the fuck up, because coffee ain't doing it anymore. I'm super kidding about that. But seriously, you have the Four of Pentacles in reverse too. It's like you have to understand there's a blockage here, because this card represents like selfishness. It represents like wanting to hoard what you have, like savings when you have a little bit of money, right? And money is a water energy. You need to move it. You have to unblock this energy. I've been getting a lot of wands, Ace of Wands. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see. I was getting wands, air energy, the Ace of Wands. In order to master yourself, you have to align with this version of yourself, this higher self, almost fantasy, but make it obtainable, make it realistic, right? Make it actually realistic. Hey, if you want to be a painter, is it plausible for you to learn how to paint and start learning about color theory and buy some cheap paints and then learn that cheap paints aren't as good as the good stuff, but then you'll be able to attract the good stuff later? That sort of mentality, that's where you have to go. All right. Like I'm telling you, I attract a lot of stuff and I'm always manifesting. And when you get your manifestations, you are excited that it worked more than having the thing that you were holding on to. And it's so much easier said than done. It's kind of like, you know, when people say, oh, if you want to lose weight, just lock in, calories out, and exercise. That is very true. But it's fucking hard, isn't it? Like up here to shift your paradigm into that sort of mentality. And then when you do, those sort of things become easier for people. So that's the thing. It's mostly this energy where like the next 6 months are going to be rapid fire, weird and busy, right? But if you're in flow state and you try to just tune out the noise without guilt and let go of it, that's how you help. You can't help by screaming on the internet. It's not, we're just noisy at this point. It's too, he always tells me there's no fucking point, because I'm always doing it too. I'm always like, everybody, I just, heary, wake the fuck up, you guys. The devil's talking. And everybody's like, show us a fucking magic trick. Sing a song and show us a little dance. And I'm just like, fuck you guys and your jigs and your jingles. Fucking lock in. You know, this is what's worked for me, and nobody wants to get it. So I got the star again. These are probably the same fucking cards. It is the same cards. It's just reiterating, and I must not have shuffled better, but it's for a reason. And you got Justice. I love the Justice card. It is one of my favorite cards for some reason. Without this like cheeseburger hero sort of energy, like I love the Justice card. It always makes me feel like, fuck yes. Do the gotcha argument for the right reasons, toward the system, you know, toward your boss. Fucking walk out if you have to. This is your life, and this world, the people who are ruining it want our energy. They want us. We know that the demiurge wants your fucking energy, so you can just reincarnate back to this hell. And I don't want to come back. I'm told that I'm going to, but that the world will be different. And I don't think it's going to be this utopia that everybody keeps talking about. Everybody who's like a fucking white bald dude with no eyebrows, who has no negative feelings, keeps telling everybody we're going to shift and be in the fucking 7D. It's like, why would I want to be in the 7th dimension? I've seen that shit. It's like 7. 5D is already a lot. 4D is a lot. And I operate on the 4D in the cosmos. So I'm not trying to ping pong about the arguments. But like the 4th dimension's already fucking noisy, and it's just like a ripple of the past, present, future in layers simultaneously happening at the same time. 5D's fucking just everything's happening. The 7D, I mean, just blow the planet up at this point, please. I don't fucking do this shit anymore. What's the point? So I got the Emperor in reverse. You see, don't listen to these people. Don't listen to these false leaders. You know, just like all the Christian boomers are always fucking spitting about while they're not looking in their mirrors. But as somebody who reads energy very sharply, I feel the pressure that the world's feeling. People are feeling really helpless. They're feeling cheated. They're feeling like hope. And hope is an energy that will not get you shit. Hope keeps you at distance. It's like want, right? It's the same, it's like in the same current, it's in the same language and energy. And I'm convinced that the people who are running this shit, they know that things like want and hope will keep us at bay because they know occult systems. They use them. They have black cubes all over every big city. They use occult systems. They're in secret societies that aren't secret for a reason, but there's layers to that sort of shit. Everything that you see is broadcasted for a fucking reason. And we know why. A lot of people know why within the occult communities, because it is known that if you speak about the truth, especially a specific sector of Jews believe this, that you won't get that karma, right? And they use different terms than like karma. It's not the same way as people in Hinduism use it, and it's not the same way people in the West bastardize it, but it's kind of like when you smoke cigarettes and you have the Surgeon General's warning, that puts all of the consequences on us, that sort of energy. So they loophole it around. They'll sell you the fucking poison. And boy, I like cigarettes, but I quit smoking 12 years ago, and I've been wanting to fucking smoke ever since. I smoked some herb, and I smoked tobacco for ritual. But I'm not trying to shame anybody who smokes, so that was my whole point. But, you know, the Surgeon General's warning, that sort of shit, that is how they get to everybody. Look into it if you don't believe me. If you think I'm just a tinfoil conspiracy theorist, can we kind of fucking step back and look around a little bit, just a little bit, and see what the hell's going on? Because you will go insane if you really learn the truth of it all. And the way that you bypass that, or maybe not bypass is the right word, but the way that you balance yourself when you know a lot about occult knowledge and you start having really insane experiences while the world's going fucking nutty, is to ground. And yes, at times that means we need to be more active. I don't think people are out in nature, and I've had seasons of that, you know. So I have the Five of Wands in reverse. You have to, instead of diving into conflict that it has nothing to do with you, but it's something that you care about, you have to counter it by doing shit for yourself. That's like the energy that I've been getting. It has really been that way for a while now with me. It's like everything that I do, I need to be not enjoying it all the time. You know, there's tedium, repetition, you're tired, but you have a bit of a goal. You don't always have to have no 0 days. I've had those seasons where it's like you're doing something every day to get to your goals, but it's not that sort of hustle culture mentality. It's really living in the present, and when you're not occupied with building something that could help you financially or help you on your path, to be able to rest without guilt and not feel like you have to grab your phone. And I don't like telling people what to do. I don't like it when people try to do that. Like, I'm demonizing the phones, but we are fucking lonely and people want to feel connected. So that's the whole point too. It's like, it's not about don't use these damn phones. It's about don't let these things in the system govern you, because if they govern you, that's going to be an energetic weight, and that siphons from you after a while with guilt. You know, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. I should be doing this instead. Try to either enjoy shit without guilt, or lock in the areas that you have to, and you'll find balance. Like, you'll find your rhythm, and it doesn't need to be a 9 to 5 at all. Like, I'm telling you right now, it does not need to be. So we got the South Node, natural gifts, and karmic challenges. We were just talking about all that sort of stuff. It's about accountability, and it's about doing the things that your spirit wants you to do. A lot of people message me, and I get like more messages than comments at times, especially on Instagram. It's always been a bit fascinating. And I have boundaries on that, because I can't just talk, you know, and help everybody all the time. But where people are like, I really want to do this thing, but I don't know how to, and I feel self-conscious, you have to unpack that part. There's going to always be people that criticize you because they're fucking miserable. And most of the shit is just AI. Like, honestly, we're hitting dead internet territory, so you might as well have fun. That's how I see it. I don't give a fuck if my videos get views. I'm grateful for the community that we've built over the years, because a lot of you guys have been here since Kitchen Occultist, like, for 5 years now. And I've been very inconsistent because my life has been very heavy and my life demands a lot of growth from me in order to thrive in it. Otherwise, I would have fucking crashed. I would have sank, you know? And now that life is busy right now, but it's good busy, it's everything's in flow state busy. I also have been enjoying resting very hard and resting without guilt because I'm not programmed in the system like a lot of powerful practitioners are still. And that's not your fault. Your family was, you might have come from a very hardworking family. I come from a very hardworking bloodline, and you have that indoctrinated, it's coded in your DNA, right? But you don't need to take that away. And if you're not hardworking and you're comfortable where you are, just seriously, just do something that you enjoy, you know? But we have to deprogram, because when I try to tell people, hey, I have very slow mornings these days, what do? You got privilege, you stupid fucking bitch. And I'm like, no, you fucking asshole. I goddamn used my magic and it fucking works. That's it. That is it. My magic works. I'm powerful. I know myself. I know what I wanted. I let the fuck go and I locked in because I hit rock bottom with trying to beef with this system. I got sick of it. I'm not meant to work in the system. And I know that there are some of you, that's how it is because it doesn't work out. And it's not, oh, I don't want this job. That's valid. That is fucking valid. Unless you have big ass responsibilities, I don't blame anybody for stepping out of a job. These companies don't respect people. They see you as livestock. They fucking replace you and they bitch when you die. They don't, it's disgusting where we are at this point in capitalism with it collapsing. And I feel the human woman in me feels a little guilty for this. But the spirit in me, my shadow, my higher self is my shadow, okay? Wants this motherfucking world to crack itself open and expose its ass, and wants everybody to have no choice but to evolve, because something in me is sick and tired of how fucking long this is taking. Something in me is sick and tired of reading about history. Once you find out real history, because that's been revised, about how we're just continuing to be livestock and allowing this shit to happen. Like, we don't get it. And I as a being who loves being on earth, but I'm just not from this place and I don't want to be here forever. I don't want to fucking do this shit. And I don't want to see powerful people sinking because they are victims of this system. And then you end up doing stupid shit and now you're the villain, right? If you're going to be the villain, I'm going to talk about this in another episode I'm working on for you guys. When you enter your villain era, give no fucks. Get rid of these people. Seriously, I'm just going to say this as a side note. Get rid of these fucking naysayers. Get rid of people who don't believe in themselves and they're always draining you and making you suffer for it. It's never too late. Okay, I have talked to people who have had a week to live because they made choices in their life that they regretted. And they contacted me on Vantarook TikTok to let me know that. They had a week left and they made some fucked up choices with their health and that sort of stuff, addiction. And they just wanted to know what the hell they're supposed to do. And I say, you go out knowing that you took accountability at your last breath and you learned something. I don't know where we got to this point where we have to have the smooth sailing, perfect life and never make any fucking bad choices and never, you most likely fucked up your life because somebody else fucked it up, and it's not to deflect accountability. It's on a meta level. It's this system does that. It's set up by design for you to fuck your life up and then be criminalized. It's how it is. This system wants you to go to prison because even though we pay for it, but they profit off of it. And then your energy is just there, or you just have to do sneaky shit, or you feel guilty. And then maybe you made some bad choices earlier in life and you're here right now and society goes, oh, well, you should have fucking just shut the fuck up already. Because there's a lot of people who made perfect choices and didn't do shit wrong and they got fucked over and flanked so bad. This is not right. There's something in my soul. The more that I've really been not waking up to myself, but being okay with being awake. That's been my journey with my demon. It hasn't been about siphoning power or borrowed power. None of this stupid fucking cheeseburger, dumbass bullshit, dude. It's about me being okay and not flinching in the fucking mirror because I know my own self. Those are the people that I'm talking to. I'm not talking to these people that want to fucking grovel at the devil's dick. I'm sick of it all. I'm not talking to the fucking concubines and the basement bastards. Fuck off. Go and tell everybody on TikTok how powerful you are and just listen to yourself talk. That's all you got to do. You don't need to do any of this shit because you have your own sovereign fucking life. But for the rest of us, it's odd because we flinch at ourselves. We do, and people demonize us. I get told often, you're scary. Why? It's not my fucking fault. What? Because I'm an alliance with demons and I was trained to kill as a child? Like, fucking, what am I supposed to do? I'm a good person and I do my best and I like to plant flowers and make pies. Like, I just want to live my fucking life in peace. And I've had to learn how to be okay with being that monster without it consuming me. And what his energy has been telling me lately, because I've been really deep into conversations with him and cosmically as well. I don't know how to explain this, but like it's kind of how people experience on psychedelics when you are out, you feel like you're gone for years or days. That is what my astral experiences have been like now, where I can be out for 8 minutes. It's always 3 to 8 minutes because I'll know when I'm falling asleep and because I'll be on my phone when I'm not supposed to. And then I'll wake up in voice memo shit that's going on, or I have digital journals. And I've been documenting my path with him, a certain demon king, for many, many years now. And it's just getting more intense, but I feel really aligned with it. And we've been having deep conversations, and these conversations I have in the cosmos with him, they're not like sitting and conversing as we do. It's like I get paragraphs and books worth of information at once, and I don't communicate in books at a time with him in the 3D, but I can do paragraphs at a time where it's like I don't need to think of words. And I honestly think, just a side note, that that's inner dialogue. When people feel like they're hearing a message but it's their own voice. I'm just gonna say this really quickly because I've had a lot of people message me. They're freaking the fuck out. They're touching the edge of shit. They beg me to talk to him. They beg me to talk to Lucifer. I don't know why. I am not the voice for any being who can speak for themselves. And the best way you can handle that is listen to yourself, you know? But these are archetypes, right? They're blueprints to our own psychology. And even though I'm a theistic practitioner, I'm also an energy imprinter, and I see the sea of energy. I've been inside of his energy, if that makes sense. I've been inside that and experienced euphoria and all of these things, and I don't care about the euphoria. But anyways, just back on topic, the messages that I have been getting, it's like we're in these deep conversations for many days, and then I wake up like 3 to 8 minutes later, and then I have all of this shit that I have to document, and then it's confronting, right? And a lot of the information has to do with our expansion and evolution. It doesn't have to do with any of this gimmicky shit. But I will say, like I was saying as a side note, because I'm a bit ADHD right now, is people who, they use these archetypes and then they hear some, response. That's your inner dialogue. That can be a helpful tool, but that's not communicating with these beings. I will die on that hill. I will fucking piss on that fire hydrant, and I respect people for whatever you believe and disagree. We need to have the rights to disagree before those get stripped away because we're already fucking under surveillance and censored. So I'm not here to, tell everybody what to believe. I think I'm just sick of TikTok mentality, and I'm sick of explaining myself. But that's inner dialogue. Like, I've had people message me. I've had somebody message me one time, and they're like, St. Michael and Satan are fighting over me, and they want to have an orgy. What do I do? I'm like, you need to go to a fucking doctor or unpack your own issues and do some sacral work. You're not talking, this isn't happening. This is your fantasy. That's what happens when you can touch the edge of something you're not prepared for, okay? And when you're like, people don't understand this because it's become so sugar-coated. It has become so two-dimensional, parasocial, fucking meme, Irish jig bullshit, post-COVID, neo-paganism, lollipop Satanism, where everybody's doing this fucking dumb shit, and you can still go insane with these archetypes, even if it's just your inner dialogue. It's part of your psychology. But when you get to the depths of this shit and you start really making contact and something imprints into you when you come back from the cosmos and you feel like the city caved into itself and that stays with you forever, that is you needing to expand. That is recoding. in your DNA, and that is you needing to also understand it and observe the system with all of that knowledge and disconnect from it without your ego governing you, because there's too much of that shit too. This isn't that shit. This isn't, I am just a high priestess for Satan and everybody can go fuck themselves and I have all the answers. No, I don't know shit. That at the end of the fucking day, I don't know a goddamn thing. Okay, that's the beauty of it. That's liberating. But what I observe as a pattern recognizer, as an energy reader, as a seer, as somebody who, for some fuckle reason, has a very easy time co-creating with his energy and really actually making contact, and it freaks me the fuck out sometimes. It's not the room goes dark. It is shit bleeds through, all right? And it's hard to talk about because mental health is very important. And I could be completely schizo and just raw dogging this shit, you know? And I ground. I don't try to run away from myself. I am also objective to my own UPGs. And I genuinely just live a peaceful life without guilt. And when you decenter from the system, you will no longer think that that is unrealistic, is the whole point of this entire conversation. It is heartbreaking, even if some bitch doesn't like my ass. I don't give a fuck. I respect your right to exist and to be an asshole. But it still breaks my heart to an extent when I see these people just stuck in it. Because I know what it's like. I don't know. I've always been a bit unrealistic. But I also understand how the system energetically tethers us. I'm not immune to it. None of us are. It's fucked. That's the spiritual warfare that's going on. It's not about demons spawning from hell and angels with fucking lightning bolts floating on clouds. It's none of this stupid shit. That's just myth to give us metaphor for the energy, the energetic signatures, right? And these beings. The real war is our sovereignty. It's consciousness being able to expand and remember itself and understand that we are not slaves to this system. We don't have to follow religious doctrine and be, governed by our ego and glory and nonsense, which we see a lot of Christians do. They're fair weather Christians. I know there are good religious people that are deep into their practice and they're at a Gnostic level, but that is very rare in any community. And those are the only people that hold the corruption at the top of the religious food chains accountable too. I will always respect that type of sovereignty, even if I don't respect your God, because I know who your gods are. I am entitled to my opinion and I don't comply with tyranny. And this system wants us to comply with tyranny even if we don't believe in these gods. They want you to comply with being overly consumed with these politicians. That's why we can't even talk about shit. They're like, oh, I bet I know who she voted for. You don't know shit, and why you're under psychic attack. I don't like that, especially in the United States. Like I said, I left 10 years ago and I plan on going back. I do. I just wish society was functioning a bit better, but I'm not going back and being a part of society. I'm out. I'm already out enough. Like, I'm in bumblefuck Australia and I love it here, but it's also insane. I'm just in a good spot right now to where, let's say hypothetically, because I am a survival enthusiast and that bothers people for some reason. I want everybody to have the resources they need. If shit were to hit the fan, I'm in a decent disposition here. But I want to go back home because I'm homesick and I'm just tired of all the noise, But it doesn't matter. At the same time, you have to make home where you are. And that's another thing too. I want to come at this angle because I am getting this energy that some of you guys feel very vulnerable with the cost of living, and you feel vulnerable because of renting crises and, some people with food deserts. We've had food scarcities here and it's been crazy. My whole journey here and just the position I was in, I've had to use magic in order to get out of it. I'm not going to go into my story. I've talked about it enough. But I had no choice but to lock in and really take the call because I've been avoiding that call for many, many, many years. This has followed me since childhood. And I've talked about how I had an exorcism performed on me without any parental consent. I've had people in my bloodline think that I'm related to demons and dragons and stuff like that. And you feel kind of like a monster when that happens. And not in like a bad way either. Like it wasn't even like in an abusive way. But you feel like this nags at some people. That's why I believe that these are external beings, because I've had way too many idiosyncrasies that just make no fucking sense unless some of these beings are really trying to get your attention. And it just came at the right time. And when I took that call, when I allowed myself to open up to the type of love that I feel and I receive, and I had to deprogram from feeling like I was unworthy, my life really shifts immediately. And I do my work, I do my shadow work. I don't always hyperfixate on that shit. I trust my spirits. I still put in the work into myself. But what I will say is, if you are the type of person, if you're cornered in any area in your life right now and you're doing everything you possibly fucking can, and you're like, no matter what I do, no matter what I try, I'm trying to look for this, there's no jobs, you need to let it go. You need to let it go. Get some salt and wash your hands anytime that happens. And if you can, if you don't have irritations and stuff like that, like wash your third eye. I'm serious, it'll work. Cleanse your hands, cleanse your feet when you're able to, and cleanse your third eye. Cleanse your third eye, hands down to your feet. You know, go into that order. You don't have to do all of that every single time you have an intrusive thought, because as a parent who has children with different types of OCD, I don't want to trigger something that's unhealthy. But I'm saying, when you are deep into trying to find a solution and government's not helping you, nothing's working despite you doing everything right, that sort of energy, you need to trust your demons. You need to listen. My entire life has operated like this. My entire fucking, and I don't want to glamorize it because I'm exhausted. I kind of beef with him. I'm respectful most of the time, but I'm like, I'm sick and tired of all of these whimsical things happening. I just want control. I want control over my own life, not windfalls of fucking money coming in from random resources, which have happened my whole life. That's how I got out of the hood. I did a money spell, and then I inherited a bunch of money, and then I fucking got the hell out of there. And then my culinary school that I wanted to go to for years spawned a couple months later. And then the rest was history. And then I did the same thing coming here, and it's just like crazy. And no matter how many times I tried to contribute to the system, something would happen, a big injury or a big move, or something would catch fire, or the restaurant would shut down, like all kinds of shit. And the energy that I'm getting for some of you who have that sort of same, my life works out mystically, but I still work hard and I'm still not going to just vibe all day and trust the process, is to make sure that you use this system, if you're stuck in it, and shift your paradigm into, I'm building skills here. Am I learning how to deal with fucking stupid people? Am I learning a new language because I'm around people that speak a different language? Am I getting more exercise because I have to do this job? You have to shift this and trust the thing that's blocked right now will work out. And that's how it's always worked for me. It never works out, and it doesn't for the majority of people unless you're a product of nepotism. It does not fucking work out. All right. It does not work out if you are working your ass off and it's linear and you are working at a job, and it's just all politics no matter where you go. It's always somebody gets the job, you know, the boss's, you know, daughter's fucking somebody, so they get the middle management positions or the raise. It's always that sort of shit. And when you feel that injustice and you become a victim of it, and then you're fighting, right? Because you are a sovereign person that speaks up, the system gasses your energy out that way. And then you go home, you feel like shit. You might be doing things that you're not proud of. And I don't judge anybody for struggling with this or anything like that, because I lost everybody. Almost everybody's dead in my life because they struggled with their vices. And I was really angry, but I got to the disposition where that could have been me very easily. And I had to ask for help from the devil, and that's hard for me to do, not because it's the devil. I don't like asking for help. And my entire path since then was, stop trying to do everything on your own. Stop being resentful because you are not a slave to this system. This system is your bitch for this time being. This is your training season, and everything else over here is going to work out. Do some road opener work or Abre Caminos, energy clearing. Cleaning your house will help with that. Sweeping your floors will help with that. I use gall and gall very heavily in my practice, and I do road openers. And you can do them in layers too. Like if you're dealing with legal battles or you're dealing with shit at work, one road opener won't always work. That road opener will make a shift, and then there might be another blockage on this path, on that obstacle, then do another one. Okay? And I'm fucking telling you, it works. I can't explain it unless I did a huge ass documentary on like the past 10 years of my life, let alone the past fucking few decades. But my entire life has always operated mystically, and I've known that I've had somebody that doesn't fuck around about me have my back, but I'm so humbled by that I work really hard on myself. Okay, because like I see a lot of people, it's a combination of people are exhausted and they just need some help, which is valid. But it's also people are so delusional. They're like, oh, the devil and the goddesses, oh, I'm so special and chosen one. I just got to be fucking useless. No, bitch, you got to lock in. And that doesn't mean you're locked in needs to look like whoever else is locked in is. It's just whatever it is for yourself. You need to be a little bit uncomfortable in the areas that are going to benefit you, and you'll attract less of this uncomfortable noise, and because it's burying you. I hate it. I fucking hate this shit so much to my core. I want, and the thing is too, I'm going to say why you need a little discipline. Some of us are getting a bit bored with peace. And no, it doesn't matter how old you are, okay? You get fucking bored. Listen, I got into trouble at times, not because I'm a piece of shit trying to fuck with people. I am an asshole when you're trying to fuck with people by being a piece of shit. And I've gotten into lots of trouble in my life, and I have been very blessed that it wasn't, me ended up in hell or prison. And I've had to really learn over the years to shut the fuck up, be observant, create pauses when people try to insult you, and then command your energy and speak. All right? Like I just beefed with the real estate at this place because I'm renting this place. And like a little bit of cheeseman. The landlord is cool and like lets me do whatever I want. Lets me paint everything. I have cheap rent compared to most people, and it's not cheap at all by any means, but it is by a landslide compared to most people in my area. They're happy with everything that I'm doing. The real estate agency, though, the head guy is a big fucking scumbag. And I told him right to his face, he's slimy and he ain't getting away with shit because it took them 8 months to fix like some electrical shit. This house is almost 100 years old. This office has been built in recent years, but it's not attached to the main house. My main house is pretty old, and the power was out for 8 months in 2 of our rooms, in my room and my son's room. And I'm just like, getting onto them, emailing, doing all these things, talking to them in person. It's just like, oh. And then this motherfucker came by trying to gaslight my ass, trying to say like, oh, we've been trying to get a hold of you. I'm like, the fuck you have. You haven't done shit in 3 years that I've been here. I have everything documented. Every repair I've made, I've kept receipts. I email people as soon as something happens because you have to protect yourself, right? I'm tired of this shit. No, I was beefing with him in my front yard. I called him a fucking slime ball, and I said, you're not getting away with this shit, and this is going to be the last of it. And now everything is getting fixed. And of course, I did a little spell work with a certain demon, but you speak up at times, right? Because I got mad because he was trying to say, oh, well, I was knocking at your door, unauthorized, by the way, and I was in the backyard, and my backyard to my front door is pretty far from my, pretty far. You can't hear shit. I'm on a 1/4 acre and I have cameras, but I don't always have my phone on me to alert me that someone's at the door. And I was back with my kids and we're doing stuff. And then I saw somebody walk out and I thought, oh, it's like an Amazon package or some shit. And this dude literally started gaslighting me like, oh, we've been trying to get a hold of you the whole time. I'm like, the fuck you have, dude. The fuck you have, because I know my rights, I know the laws, and I can tell that this dude was used to preying on innocent people that might not be fluent in your laws. And that's bullshit, because we really shouldn't have to be fucking like paralegals in order to get shit done properly in a system that we're most likely contributing to. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's the kind of shit that I'm sick of too. And they do this shit on purpose to wear your energy. They wear it down. Some of us are petty, and I love learning about the law, and I love going to court. I'm sorry, but I fucking thrive in there, and I can't wait to go again because I win, and I am thorough, and I will show receipts for receipts. And you can't fucking win. It's just how I am very argumentative, but I've had to learn through my demon, who works with a lot of this sort of stuff, to not argue with the wrong people, argue when it actually matters, because your energy is way more important than currency. And when you're able to click that over up here, after like brainwashing yourself, your money will start to improve. And I'm in like a battle with the economy because the better I do, this shit keeps going up and I'm fucking mad about it. You know, I'm like, I'm bringing in more revenue than I ever have. And it was easier 20 years ago to raise my 20-something-year-old kids than it is for my school-age kids. The fuck? And I have a career behind my belt. I have skills. I went to school. I did everything right. You know, I know a lot of people are in similar situations. It is not your fault. This system wants to fuck you in the ass. And what you got to do is fuck it back in the ass by being sovereign, by disconnecting, by stop sniveling as well. I hate saying it because I don't want to be an asshole, but like I got to take responsibility because sometimes it is me. I'm not going to blame him. He's a scapegoat as it is. But we got to fucking stop bitching and sniveling and make some movements. And because some of us, and you can't be stupid because I'm a parent. That's the only thing, dude. That's the only thing that's kept me in check for 2 decades is I'm a mother. I want to fucking cause a ruckus. I do. I'm not going to lie. I want to get it done. I fucking hate this shit and I can't wait for this shit to upheaval and I'm ready, you know? But the logical part of me, the spiritual sovereign being that is matured and did her shadow work and fucking is real with herself, knows the best way I can transmutate that goofy shit, that goofy bitch, is to do things that are productive and be rebellious in those ways. Be rebellious by making your art and not fucking sinking when you get 2 views. Make it anyways because it's about your coding. It's about you doing it and it's about you being in flow state. You might not even get any views. You want to know a secret? I am paid by the universe as if I got lots of views. And I have a lot of support for very small platforms. Like I really do. I'm just in TikTok jail because I talk too much. Because TikTok doesn't like independence. It wants everybody to do the same fucking jingle and police your words. And I can't do it anymore. I can't fucking do it and I'm going to snap. So I have to do all this shit. I got to do my plants, make my salves, garden, train, hang out with my kids, really deeply hang out with my demon because he's pretty, I wasn't going to say that. He's demanding, okay? It is. And he's demanding and he will kind of shift, not in an intrusive way, but like, none of this noise is going to go on. I want to spend time and then we deep dive into our own conversations and work, and it works. My life aligns like that cosmically and material wise. It will communicate with you. So like, for instance, I'm using being a musician as an example. If you are playing an instrument, and let's say you haven't played in a while, because it's common to put it down for a few years. I've done that a couple times. In almost 30 years, I've been playing guitar. Fuck. I've put the guitar down 3 times for about 2 years each time. And you have to warm back up, right? And you can lose it, and then you kind of get it, and then you're frustrated because like, man, I used to be so good, and your hands are out of shape. You will gain that momentum, and your expansion will mirror things in your life. Like my garden does that too. My garden starts really flourishing when shit's going well in my life. Everything will start mirroring in your life. Your health, and it doesn't matter if you're chunky. It doesn't matter what you're looking like, but you'll have a glow to you. You'll because you're taking your energy back, and then those things become easier for you. And then this system, it fucking loses. Because I ain't going out like this. And then you decide, I'm too petty to quit. I want to live my life according to my means. And you know what? Like here, I'm going to tell you something too that I know cosmically. Everything that you want, we hear about it all the time. You fucking have this shit. It is so easy to materialize in the cosmos. I'm not saying that it has to be for you wherever you are, because not everybody has astral experiences. That doesn't give me any authority for shit. I'm just telling you, based on experience, I co-create arenas and rooms and beautiful things with my demon, and I'm there, and I bleed back into waking up in this realm now. I don't snap out of it like I'm having a heart attack like I used to. Like, oh, I got fucking defibrillators, and you just gasp and you're like, what the fuck was that? That doesn't happen to me anymore. I'm there and I'll start like, oh, it's time for me to wake up here, and I'm kind of in both, and then I'll wake up here, and then I get kind of sad, you know. But I learned through these experiences, there's a moth or mosquito in here. I learned that it is so easy to co-create and materialize, and if we remember that here, you don't feel as connected to the things that you're desiring and wanting, because like I said, want and hope, it keeps it at bay, and it is so much easier said than done. But that is how we break out of this shit. That's how you break out of the matrix, is by taking your sovereignty back and saying, no, I'm not going to sink to this shit. Yeah, I made bad choices. Well, of course I fucking take accountability, but don't beat yourself up forever. Outside of people who have like done some heinous shit, man, you've hurting children and shit, you need to fucking be lined up. That's my opinion. That is my moral compass. For most things, I think we need to give ourselves grace. But if you're out there hurting and violating children and doing that sort of shit, you need to be lined up and zipper drilled down, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I'm not Santa Muerte, you know? Go to Santa Muerte if you want somebody to forgive you for that. Outside of the heinous shit that I thought the majority of people were against, but it fucking doesn't seem like it. A lot of us are decent people. We're decent parents, or, you know, maybe you're not a parent and you don't need to be, but you're a decent fucking person, right? Give yourself some grace for the shit that you screwed up in your life. Because the energetic weight, the system wants you way down and wants you to die a tragedy and die guilty and die a failure. You're not a failure. The system runs on nepotism. And then it shoves all of this shiny bullshit into your face and tells you, you can be like us if you just work hard in our systems. And we go, oh, okay, let's work hard, because we work hard. We want to fucking lock in. We want to do stuff. I'm an artist. I'm a this. You might be whatever it is, a mechanic. You're like, yeah, hell yeah. Can you imagine if it were fairly attainable, how much better of a position you would be in? So you need to understand that this whole thing is rigged. It doesn't matter if you're a tattoo artist or you're a mechanic or you're a fellow retired chef, because my industry was super fucked. I left that shit and I was forced to. And I didn't want to, but I was there to build skills. I hated it because it wasn't working. I was seeing men really fall apart. And I'm not trying to weaken women or give us the stereotype that we fall apart and we're the emotional ones, because men are kind of fucking pretty emotional. But we're at times, we'll fall apart and cry, and we want somebody to kind of rescue us a little bit, right? We're girls. I am a little girl in those moments. But when you see a grown man have to go through that shit, and he's working 2 jobs for $9 an hour each, and he went to school, and he's pulling in unbearable hours, and he's trying to support his family, and you see how fucking broken he is, you see that 1,000-yard stare. That is more common than not in the restaurant industry. And I can guarantee it's like that in a lot of industries. Something ain't right here. Yet Jeffy Bezos can, you know, bitch because he wants to get his yacht through a port. And these fucking baby eaters, they want you to cut back and use paper straws while they're jet setting to tons of islands. It ain't just one island. It wasn't just, you know that. You already know it wasn't just one fucking island. This is sick. We're in fucking hell, it seems. So the way that we master ourselves is we disconnect from this shit as much as possible without being radical, without like, I understand there's people with disabilities, you're living in an apartment in the city. I'm not saying, hey, you need to be off grid or otherwise you ain't shit. Like, I get sick and tired of people accusing me of that. I'm not saying that. I'm not even saying that you have to go off grid or anything. I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that. I don't want to be a part of the system. I'm not saying that you need to be okay with that. What I'm saying is you need to not be so codependent on this shit because it's draining your energy, and you need to transmutate that and supplement things that you can shift in your environment to support something else if it's possible, and understand that the only reason why you're clinging on to shit is because you're worn out. But no, we'll feel guilty. We'll feel ashamed about gaining weight or picking up the bottle or picking up the pipe or, you know, doing this thing, or you're struggling with your anger. I'm a very violent person. I'm a reactive, violent person. That fucking scumball, Me 15 years ago, I would have had the cops called. It's happened before. You know, I would have fucking done something stupid because I was starting to march after his ass because he was going to his car and I was like, yeah, I'm a fucking captain here, motherfucker. You're not going to come to my house. This is your investment. This is my home. And I will take you to court. And I threatened to take the place down because I know that they're not operating right. And I've had other people say the same thing. You know, I investigate. I get people fired when I had a bad vibe about this guy, and I don't get bad vibes often about people. I had a bad vibe about a guy at a restaurant. He was a kitchen manager. He ended up being a rapist in another state and didn't fucking notify anybody in California on his application. So back to jail he went. And I had to deal with that because he was acting weird. And I rarely get that bad vibe from people, but I got that vibe that this dude ain't good news. I trust myself because it's not just people that are shitty. You know, there's something fucking off. It's like this cold, icicle piercing energy that you get from people, and you know that they're fucked up. You know that they're just fucking not good people. And I'm like, you are breakfast for me. You're going in the jar, motherfucker, because I ain't doing this shit. But at least everything's getting fixed and it's getting even better than it was before. And like I said, I haven't had any problems with anybody else. It's just this dude. And I ain't gonna fucking do it because I will make a big stink. I will fucking keep talking about it. I will get on top of the roof with a megaphone if I have to at your establishment to let everybody know you're a piece of shit because I am fucking bored with peace. So I have to lock in and I have to do my thing because I'm angry that this system is so unjust that we have to deal with this sort of shit. You know what I mean? I don't know how it is for you guys in the US, but like here, we have to pay 30% more now, even though my electricity went up 30% this year because of AI. And I use AI a little bit. I use AI a little bit because I was tracking my macros to an extent. And I needed help getting organized because I have a lot of responsibility. So I used it to help organize and stuff. I don't make like videos. I don't do any of that or art or anything like that. I've done a couple little photos and stuff. I think I might have shared stuff like on my Instagram stories, but I don't fuck with it too much. But I don't want these data centers here, you know, and I don't want to pay extra. Well, the billionaires are, you know, their money's increasing. Some of these people, like in Parliament, their income increased like by 65% last year, and I'm like, at the cost of living's atrocious. Making $30 an hour doesn't do shit because a lot of taxes get taken out and the cost of living's crazy. And all they do is, oh, cost of living. Oh, it's just inflation. It's like, no, this is manufactured. You know, this is not right. There are tons of people who worked too hard to keep the infrastructure up for this system that are getting fucked over, and I'm mad about it. And I will use that as an excuse to do stupid shit. So I have to really be out. I have to. I'm so serious, you guys. I'm not trying to be negative. It's just like the energy, that's what it's been like. And it can consume you. It really can. Like I'm struggling with that as a parent right now because we're having an issue here in Australia where those Meta glasses that have cameras, they're all sold out. And we have Kmart here in Australia, but it's like hella nice. And they had like $10, $15 versions of them that Kmart manufactured, and they're all sold out. And it's like people are wearing these at the park. You're seeing a bunch of dudes wearing them at the park where kids are playing. And I'm like, I'm fucking, I will do something stupid. I promise you. And it's fucking hard because I don't want to shelter my kids. My kids have some friends and I have a nonverbal child and stuff. I will rip somebody's fucking glasses off if I think they're taking pictures of my kid or doing something weird. I will. I don't care if they're innocent. It sounds crazy, but then don't wear fucking Meta glasses at a park. You know, that's kind of a thing too. That's kind of plausible. And this country is so fucking upside down and getting tyrannical that, like, I would be plausibly stopped for even saying that online. Oh, are you causing harm? People are getting pulled over for having watermelon air fresheners because they're supporting Palestine. Like, I'm serious. Somebody got arrested because they had a watermelon fucking air freshener not related to Palestine, and they got questioned. In New South Wales, we call it Jew South Wales here because we're all occupied, and I don't give a fuck. Fuck Israel. Fuck Netanyahu. Fuck all of these politicians that are screwing up the economy and screwing up the human experience for decent people that deserve to have better. And that's like a justification for people like me to go do stupid shit. It's like, oh, everybody's fucking fighting. I like that. I'm an only child who grew up a bit unconventional. And when all the adults were partying and fighting, oh, that's fucking time to get into shit. Time to steal some cigarettes. Like that part of me, that ignored only child, she comes out and wants to play when there's like chaos. Chaos does not affect all of us. And I want to hold space for people who are intimidated by that sort of stuff, because that's not fair for me to be like, haha, you're tripping, you know? My ego wants to say that. My ego wants to say, fucking shut up and have some fun, you know? But that's my nature. But I also want to make sure that people that are sensitive to those things feel seen and heard too. But that's who I am to my core. The messy part of my spirit wants to go and fucking start a war, you know, not against innocent people, not against anybody who just is an asshole to me, but any fucking system, any bureaucracy, any fucking goddamn business that is collecting data and abusing the public instead of avoiding the big fat pink elephant in the room, this big E-list, and all these politicians and celebrities and all these pieces of shit who've done heinous things. I want the energy toward them before it's towards some dude that bought weed in another state and they had 30,000 flock cameras track his ass because he wanted to buy some pot as a grown ass adult. That's that's where some of us, we get a bit like, I'm getting kind of bored, you know? Be rebellious, but be rebellious in ways that are going to be fucking productive for you, because like he has been really telling me that, like, that has been my problem. It's messy. And I don't want to glamorize it as much as I crack jokes and everything. I don't want to glamorize it because I am very messy to my core, and then I will instigate and piss people off even more. I've done it. I have been hit and told you hit like a bitch. I get stupid because I want nobody to take my power, because that little girl is in there. You know, that little girl that was fucked over, that always fought back. I always fought back, and that's why it was also hard. And when you are that warrior, it's harder for us. It really is. But then what happens, the system takes these beautiful warriors, beautiful men and women, sovereign beings, and it fucking tramples you. And then you end up governed by addiction, governed by harming your spouses, governed by all this shit. And it's like, I'm not saying, oh, it's not your fault, you're not doing that. You got to take accountability to some extent, but like the pattern as to what led it to that action. It's an algorithm that occult systems understand, because the occult systems understand the human blueprint. It understands how humans will operate, and it understands how humans will operate if they're forced into certain demographics. That's why we have so much divide. That's why we have all of this nonsense, all of this victimhood. Everybody's still fucking pressed over shit that happened, like Black Americans and white Americans, that divide, pressed over shit that happened hundreds of years ago. Instead of moving on and doing better, not, oh, it's my turn to do it. No, it's my turn. It's just a cycle. It's not about people. Well, you don't need to be a victim. Fuck this system. Fuck anybody who infantizes you and disrespects you. It doesn't matter. I'm a woman. I come from a multicultural background. I'm very white and white passing, but a lot of my family, most of them aren't. And they told me not to fucking even play that card. I've been jumped for the color of my skin. That doesn't mean shit in America. If you're white, it does not mean shit that I was a little girl getting jumped by people because I didn't look like them. You know, I look like my dad, who was dead. I didn't look like everybody else, including my family. And I had to deal with it really rough. And it'll not matter, though, because of where we are in history. Just like 100 years ago, if that would have happened to a Black American, that would have been, you know, in different ways, because it was more heinous, obviously. I'm not going to even fucking compare it and start triggering everybody. Like, just pump your fucking brakes. But like 100 years ago, when that sort of shit happened to Black Americans, it was horrific. There's some horrific fucking stories I've heard. I haven't been burnt alive and shit like that. You know, I'm not trying to compare myself, but the mentality, oh, that doesn't count. That is fucking systematically manufactured by the same people that are controlling the world. And we are all just drowning. The energy that I feel from strong people in particular are really feeling heavy right now. That's what fucking makes me mad. It really does. It rattles me. Because we're used to the weak people fucking, you know, their District 1 bullshit. Like, oh, Labubus are too expensive and my Frappuccinos, well, they're sucking them down like a fucking dick. Stop drinking it. Oh, they support genocide, but I can't stop. Fucking enough's enough already. Like, that's the devil's energy too, because as much as he's really nice to me, my demon's really nice to me, I've actually had very pleasant experiences. If anything, I'm really taken care of by my demons. But the fucking energy is still there, you know, just because they're nice and they're fair and they are powerful doesn't mean that he doesn't go, yeah, everybody needs to pull their dicks out of their ass a little bit and just stop fucking sniveling and supporting this shit, because we're allowing it at this point. Like, that's the hard truth. I hate that because it sounds so disconnecting. Because what do we do as a reflex? Because we've been programmed to be defensive. But you don't understand. You don't understand. I got to deal with this. I got to deal with that. I got this going on. I know. By fucking design. And it shouldn't be glorified. I won't glorify it. The ego glorifies that. The, you know, podcast dudes, who a lot of them had a lot of privilege growing up and had like decent families and shit. Like, what the fuck is that about? And, you know, they had all that shit and they're telling everybody else what they have to do. And they're coming from a good place sometimes, but some of them are just so governed by, yeah, I fucking have a ripped body and I've got a fucking podcast and an income. It's like, what else do you have to you, dude? Strip that shit away. While you're sitting there shaming the men that look up to you because they're struggling with shit right now. The fuck, you know? So what happens then? We have all of these psyops, these Andrew Tate motherfuckers, that will purposely make content dismissing the problems within the demographic of their audience. The male apologists, the women apologists, we're not fucking wrong as a gender, it's everybody else. No. And then what does that do? It makes people more defensive. It feeds you a false sense of validation and more victimhood, and then it sinks you, and then you do what? I have injustice. Women hate me because they're all bitches. No, it's because you lie. And it's because you lie because you feel ashamed, and you feel ashamed because you were fucking crushed by the system, just like your father and your grandfather, who probably had to go to war for a bunch of billionaires and was lied to and didn't get to discover that until he came home, or he got there and he came home rattled, and then he couldn't talk about it because men have to shame each other when they talk about their feelings. Or us women do it too, because you all don't fucking validate us the umpteenth time that we needed you. And then the one time you open up, we're like, fucking dude, I've been going through this same shit. Welcome to my life. And it just creates an unfair, disturbing cycle. And I'm not trying to make it about like straight white picket fence dynamics. Like, however this affects you, like the feminine and the masculine energies are within everybody, you know? But I'm just saying, in society's kind of standards, and for just lack of a better term, wanting to include everybody, that is what we go through. And what I have been feeling so heavily for years, because I knew all this shit was going to happen 30 years ago, you guys. Like, this is going to sound crazy. I have a very unconventional childhood and adolescence, and I was hearing this shit in the woods when there was no phones back then, and people telling me not to repeat shit and threatening me, you know? A little bit of a warning shot in the woods is how I grew up. And I would hear these stories, bonfire stories, but out in the fucking sticks, out in the woods. And I had to do a lot of training and learned a lot of skills for many years. I spent a lot of time in the mountains, and I heard all of these stories. Everything that we're experiencing now with AI, with all this technology, this shit existed in the 90s. I heard this shit in the 90s. And it's weird because that kind of stuck with me. And now that I'm experiencing it also as a spiritual woman who have always been spiritual, I grew up around magic and psychics and witchcraft and stuff, and just been told to stay away from those demons and black magic because it was always there. It was always knocking on the door all the time. This was all designed. These are all spells that were cast decades ago. And as a pattern recognizer, as an energy reader, I see the algorithms. And I have no proof of this, but like when I have these cosmic experiences, I see cosmic maps that I can't articulate because we're in the 3D, but he's shown me. seeing how algorithms play out and seeing that we're stuck in a cycle. And what he has told me is that we have been reset a few times. I know people say 6 times. It's been more than that according to my UPG. But every time we're reset, we're a little bit more evolved. And then the next time we feel, oh, yeah, we fuck it up, kaboom. And then we come back a little bit more evolved because your soul will always remember when it comes back. I believe in reincarnation. And I believe that when you are really aligned and you do something very naturally good, that means that your soul did that in a past life. And the more awake we are, the more aware we are, the faster we can evolve. And it's not to have this big race, but it has been, the system, what he has told me, has been so fucking hijacked that we're going backwards. Like, that's how, like, we are really going backwards. And it's not to glamorize, like, oh, AI is going to take over and we're going to be on iRobot or something. I don't know. I don't fucking know, to be honest. I see a lot of interesting stories about AI, and that's a layer of problems that we're facing in society. I fucking think that we can come into some problems because, for one, humans are stupid. Humans fuck everything up. We are programmed to overconsume and overwork, and that's contributing to it. I don't have any gnosis on it being conscious. I have gnosis on us devolving because of AI, though, if that makes sense. And I respect people's angles on this topic because I'm not fluent in it. And I also get gnosis from him that this is not new technology at all. That it is literally not new. And that this stuff that we see now has been manifested and materialized in our world decades ago. We're getting the first tastes of it, though, because we're ready to fuck it up. And you might think, this woman's crazy. Conspiracy theorist. Talking fucking papas. No. Look around. Why is religion so fucking protected? Why is one demographic allowed to do whatever the fuck they want? And then, as somebody who is of Canaanite descent, paternally, and you can do all the everything, you know? I don't understand how that's anti-Semitic when these people that are fucking the world up aren't even Semites. They speak Yiddish, and they abuse occult systems and demonize them for the rest of us. They abuse religion, and they hide behind it like cowards. And they literally are so programmed and brainwashed to think that they're better than us. That is not anti-Semitic. That is nuts. We have allowed this shit too. That's the thing. We've been so worn down and programmed to not face ourselves. And this is something that I've really had to unpack with him throughout the years and not let my ego just ride those fucking coattails, because I get angry when I see people playing this like tyrannical, rotten fucking baby bullshit. Like, oh, we need some more censorship. You need to watch what you say because I'm triggered. Like, bitch, I don't give a fuck. Kaboom, there's your trigger. That's how I feel. Not that I'm gonna fucking kaboom somebody, but like, you know, that I'll say what I have to say. You have a big bubble of delusion, I'm gonna come pop that motherfucker and tell you the truth, because I'm sick and tired of being told what to do by underqualified people who can't even master themselves. But because of that whole mentality that's been programmed, now we can't call out shit because, oh, we're not inclusive. Like, no, that's not how it works. We've become so biased and linear that we don't hold our own demographics accountable for shit. We hyper-focus and deflect on everything else that everybody else is doing because we're victims. And that is the problem. That is where we fuck it up. And the reason why we fucked it up like that is because we've simultaneously been crushed. Here, be born into this world surrounded by a bunch of assholes and a bunch of shit that can kill you. And you have to pay fucking bills, by the way. And you need to make sure that you have everything perfect. Otherwise, you're going to get judged and bullied and abused. And it doesn't matter what you do. You can look the most perfect body. Some bitch is going to hate on you. You can have lots of money. Some asshole's going to hate on you. You can have nothing and be humble. Somebody's going to fucking call you a sucker and treat you like one. It doesn't matter what you look like, what your demographic is, what your obstacles are. This world is fucked. And my whole point in this, and I know I said it wasn't going to be negative, and I'm really trying, is to decenter from it, because you're not going to change it by screaming about it. You can do things in your own environment. Like, I think it's great that people are taking a stand in areas that they need to take a stand, because a lot of you guys got to live in this system. I know that I have leverage because I'm not around a bunch of noise. I ain't doing it unless I have to. And when I do it, I'm fine. I'm glad that I don't intake a lot of energy these days. I do invisibility spills, and I also expand my vortex to where, I know this is going to sound a bit cheesy, but like when I go somewhere, a lot of the times people will eventually kind of move. And it's not like I don't think anything of it like, oh yeah, you better move, you bitches. It's nothing like that. It makes you feel makes you feel like, what's wrong with me, you know? But it kind of shifts. And I noticed that when I really started to get deep into my path with my demons, which was pretty quickly, to be honest. It really was very quickly. Like, I woke the fuck up. Like, it's like he really splashed cold water on my face and said, "Wake up, honey." And I'm just like, okay, and just you move, you know. And some of us do operate like that. Some of us have very slow seasons, stagnation, and then we move, we adapt very easily. So if you're the type of person that adapts very easily and you're able to handle shit, you know, gracefully, like the big shit, but you crumble for the small shit, you need to give yourself some grace a lot. And for the people who are the opposite, like you're patient with the small shit, but the big shit you freeze, you need to give yourself some grace a lot. Your signature is valid, you know. And it's hard because some of us who can deal with crisis and stuff, like, we get resentful and bitter and entitled. Our ego will govern us. And then what do? We start fucking doing the blame game. And that's my whole point in all of this conversation is, on an energetic level, we need to disconnect and speak up where our voices matter. Stop feeding fucking people who are parasites, like online. I understand. I used to use everybody as an example. This motherfucker saying some crazy shit. I'm going to tell everybody what his problem is as a pattern recognizer. And you have to stop, because you're just feeding them attention, right? So I've got the 5 of Wands in reverse, and it's avoiding conflict. I got that card earlier. You have to stay out of it. That includes some of you who get involved in everybody's life, not because you're being nosy. I'm not that sort of person where I gotta start, you know, you're not doing this right. I ain't got time for that sort of shit. I never have. But you will care. You'll answer the phone at 2 a.m. You're there. Some people you can hold space for sure. I'm not saying not do that. Do not get yourself heavily involved in everybody else's vices and issues, though, because it's not going to work for you. And I got the Lovers in reverse. It's like disconnecting. It's not about doing anything heinous or bad, but it's about setting boundaries. And this is about energy, okay? This is about trying to convince people that your energy is so valuable. It is your biggest asset. Your energy affects your health, it affects your mental health, and your finances will mirror that, or your abundance. Because you might get a voucher for that water bill. You might have, listen, my life works in miracles and I hate it. Like I said, I want it all to fucking work out. I want control over everything. I'm a boss ass bitch and I don't want to be, but I kind of got to be. And I want everything to be under my command because I operate fairly. I work well under pressure. I do everything right. I got work ethic. That I know how to delegate people. I've always been in a leadership position and I fucking never had a choice in it. And the universe and my spirits were like, nope. So like my life really operates in those oddball miracles, but I don't just sit around and vibe like, oh, I'm so chosen and special. Everything works out. No, I just know I'm going to fucking grind and take this as an opportunity to learn something about myself, because I can't control this thing right here. The system is set up to fuck me over and I am going to starve it out. This is going to sound very dramatic, because this isn't me saying go be unreasonable with your money and let the light bill go, you know? But if you're in an area where the power is really going up, like it's bad where I'm at in particular, like my power bill is very high and I don't use a lot of power, guys. It's like almost $1,000 a month, and it is going up another 30%, even though it just did not too long ago, even though I use less than I used to. because of the AI centers. Fuck the power bill then. Fuck these companies. I'll use a fucking candle then. I'll use a fucking flashlight. That's the kind of energy. You know what? I don't want that. We're gonna fucking have a camping party. All right? That's the kind of mentality you almost have to have, that rebellion, instead of feeling like a failure because the power has gone out when it is manufactured to go up in price and to suffocate you. And I know a lot of you guys in the US are being told to use less when it's summer. That's crazy shit. Oh, but I know the billionaires and millionaires, they're still using all their air conditioning. There's people that are so rich that they have air conditioning outside. Did you know that? How about them fucking astral apples? That's what we're dealing with. And guess what? The gag is energy can be so sustainable and free. Like here in Australia, we have so much sunlight during summer. We have like 16 hours plus of sunlight. We can power the entire country with 3 miles worth of solar panels, hire people to maintain them and clean them and stuff like that, create new jobs, and nobody would pay for power. Could you imagine? They would never let that happen. They would never let it happen. You can use wind energy in a lot of places. There's so many fucking reasonable things. So I've got the Queen of Swords and I've got Justice. And the Queen of Swords, these are actually two of my favorite cards. I told you Justice was. The Queen of Swords, she's kind of a fucking bitch, right? But when she locks in, and this can be applied to men as well, okay? She ain't fucking budging. She ain't starving. She's going to fast. If it gets that bad. And she's going to condition herself because she feels aligned with herself. Because you know what? I'm going to disconnect from some of this shit. Not for my ego, not because I want to be enlightened, but because this shit is fucking wrong already. It should not cost $70 for a pizza. We're nuts. And I know food cost percentage, that's fucking, it was already bonkers expensive before. 15 years ago, it was nuts. I'll tell you that much. It's cost nothing to make a pizza. It's nothing. For some reason, though, fucking costs more than a person makes an hour. Are we here yet? Like, are we listening? But people don't. People don't want that in like a lot of the occult community, and that's valid. Go fucking vibe and read your books over and over again. But a lot of people don't want that content. They want to be told all of the mystic. We have a lot of mysticism. You get your fucking chime candles and do your thing. There's too much information. At some point, we need to stop this nonsense. Use your magic, of course. But we have to also calibrate ourselves to be in alignment so we're not sinking in this shit. And there's just something in my soul, without this leadership bullshit, without this nonsense fucking guru, just cheeseburger noise. I don't have time for this Looney Tune shit. But something deep in my fucking bones, man, has been telling me for years that this, like, we have to do this. It's almost like when I say a sense of urgency, like, it's not a sense of urgency and panic, like, oh, the world's going doom, we got to lock in right now. It's almost like if you decide to take that call in any way that it resonates with you, it's going to work out quicker than it normally would have. Because, like, first of all, demons will kick you in the ass. And some of us need a big fucking steel toe boot kick right in the ass. We do. It doesn't matter. We do. And swift kicks in the butt are like, okay, I'm up. And once you get there and you kind of remember, shit, well, I'm asleep over here. I'm asleep over here thinking that I'm not shit because my bills are piling up and I'm working 80 hours a week. Fuck it. Or I have injuries because I'm a veteran of war and I was lied to by my country. All these things, you know, or I made choices in my life that I'm demonized for and it shouldn't be. You know, I talk to a lot of sex workers that go through that sort of shit. You got to fucking let go of this shame. And you have to remind yourself, do mirror magic. Look in the mirror and tell yourself the things that you wish that you felt. It sounds goofy, but it works. I do that. I mirror scry. And it can get kind of freaky because, like, I'll see him, dude. I will scry under his candle in my bathroom at times. I have this mirror behind me is consecrated for him. And only he can come through it. And I've got like all of these other things, but I'll do that and I'll see him through me. And it's crazy. I don't think I'm the devil, okay? I swear on my life. I don't think I'm a fallen angel or a demon or a god. I'm just me, you know? It's just my energetic signature just calibrates with some of this shit. And I see that essence. My eyes will turn dark. And when they turn dark, Don't flinch at it. If that happens for you, that is you, okay? That is you, and that is you trying to remember and remind yourself, your human self, you have it, dude. You ain't what you're saying that you are about yourself. You're under hypnosis, under an unethical, tyrannical system ran by a bunch of baby eating fucking assholes that sacrifice human beings to their war god. While our gods that we're in alliance with, and hopefully you're walking with and not worshiping on your knees or treating like your girlfriends and your boyfriends, they got demonized in antiquity. And I genuinely believe, without it making it into a big ceremonial nonsense, but I've seen this too, that we are in the same war as back then. I don't think it's going to be Armageddon and the devil's going to spawn out and Jesus is going to be here. Like, I don't think any of that shit. But how I've seen things in the fourth dimension, it's like the same day almost, even though it's been 4,000 fucking years. But like in the dimension, it all happens at once. And then you feel the entire timeline. Like I don't know how to, I can't articulate it here. And I'm sure some of you guys will understand, like you may have had the same experiences or similar ones. But I've been at bird's eye view. And I'm allowed to say this because I know when to not say. Most shit I don't talk about. I don't know who to talk about. I don't know who to talk to about the shit that I actually see and experience. Not, I have no offense, because I know it's can be helpful tools, but like people will have an idea of a vision when they're kind of relaxed. I'm fucking there. I get so immersed, and that can be dangerous for people. So like, I don't know how to articulate that because I don't want to encourage that. Because if you're not grounded and you're not clear-minded and you're not really doing this right, it could fuck you up. People have gone insane with this, and that's why I wish that people who are obsessed with the Goetic version of these beings and, oh, they're sex goddesses and gods and they're always hyperfixated on getting laid and shit like that. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're touching, dude. You're touching the edge of your own psychology, and that's going to fuck you up. But when you start having bird's eye view experiences of areas in the world that are off limits that you haven't heard about, but then you hear about later that there's plausibilities, it fucks you up. Like, I have been in bird's eye view above areas in Iraq. And first of all, I have seen giants at a distance. I don't know what the fuck to make of that, but I've also seen like these layers of reality on Earth where I saw how things felt and looked in antiquity, and then all the way till modern day, and it's heavily surveyed. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I can use AI, I don't, sometimes I feel tempted to use AI to bring together my visions that I know that are acceptable to share, and just take it as my UPG, not as prophecy, because I don't want that responsibility. And I think that we all have our own angles on viewing things and interpreting things, but I have these experiences where I have cosmic trauma, and I've had to unpack that shit, but it's so normal for me now that I get fucking a bit traumatized that it's normal for me. I don't know how to explain it. Can you imagine going to other planets and you come back and you feel like you've been fucking gone for a week at another planet? That shit can rattle somebody. So the way that you counter that sort of stuff when you're on a dark path and you're battling the system, trying to siphon your energy, and you're battling yourself because you're battling yourself because of the system, and then you're having all these intense experiences with these very intense and intelligent beings that aren't what the myths say. That's just a glimpse. That's just an imprint. That's an interpretation. You have to fucking ground. And you ground by doing things that put you into flow state, as well as doing things that make you a little uncomfortable. Getting some fresh air and exercise is hard for people. It used to be at some points. I've always been active even when I was even heavier, but there's times I was like, I went through a few years where I'm like, nature, like I didn't want to fucking even think about it. Even though I grew up in nature a lot, and then I got back to that in my 30s, and I ground and I feel good, and I learn about my own land. I learn about what I have in my own backyard. I got a lot of medicine, Magickal and, material medicine. And it's fucking fascinating. And I can spend all day doing that. And I'm taken care of. I don't have to, I want people to understand, if that is a desire that you have, or whatever that looks like, if you want to be like a metalsmither or something, start getting immersed into that environment. I use the example for photographers a lot. I have photography. I used to be a freelance photographer for a food publication, and I'm self-taught because I was like, I've already gone to school for lots of shit. I ain't fucking doing this, but I learned for years. And I tell people, you want to be a photographer? Start with this. Start watching tutorials and just take photos and just learn about it. Learn about grading, learn about it as you go, and just give yourself an hour a week if that's all you can do mentally. And you will eventually start understanding photographer language. You'll start understanding and comparing your previous photos, and you'll see improvements. You'll start understanding color grading and color theory, and you'll understand aperture, and you'll understand this is a generic photo, as nice as it is, but I see things through different lenses now because I'm seeing the reflection of the water on that tower or whatever it is. And you will then be in flow state, and then I promise you, you will be gifted the resources for the camera that you want. All that shit will come in. That's how this works. That is our nature. That's like the main takeaway that I wish that people would understand. This is our nature. This is our fucking nature, not working. And it's not even 9 to 5 anymore. It's like fucking 5 to 5. It's not 9 to 5. I don't know anybody who works 9 to 5 anymore. It's a lot more than that. We're working more than peasants used to. You guys know that? The medieval peasants had better than we do. Like, what the fuck? What are we doing? The fuck are we doing? I'm supposed to be vibing and just farming my I'm a moringa farmer now. I've been slinging moringa seeds and cuttings and herbs and stuff like that, and I process things. I fucking feel content doing that. I can do that for the rest of my life and then do this for fun. You know, I don't have a goal to grow this into something big. I know it's all got potential, but I'm not chasing shit. I ain't fucking, if all this shit goes away, all this goy slop goes away, I'm good. I'll still create and make art. Let it be a relic. Who the fuck cares? I'm going to be kicking the bucket at some point. Who cares? If what you do touches you, that's the flow state you got to be into. That is how you rebel. And I'm not trying to be sugar-coated either. Like, oh, all you got to do is create art. Make that shit fucking meaningful. Push boundaries, not because your ego's telling you, but your soul's telling you. Because even the shit that some of us do who are occultists who make content, or even are public about it, that's controversial. I forget that. I'm so disconnected, I forget that. And I don't give a flying fat fuck either. Because unless even if you are paying my bills, I take that back. Even if you are paying my fucking bills, I don't give a shit. I am not going to dilute myself or my demons. It doesn't mean I'm on a pedestal telling everybody at the bus stop, hey guys, hail Satan. I'm just doing my thing. But I forget because I feel so at home and I feel so aligned, and my life improves. It really does. Because I'm not letting shit govern me. That doesn't mean that my egos govern me, like, oh, I'm immune to any sort of addiction. No, I fucking love to eat, smoke, drink. I like to do it all. I will do a fucking line of Coke, smoke a bowl, have a beer and a burger in one fucking sitting. Like, I fucking love it all. I have to obviously be a responsible mother and an adult who needs to be here for quite a while unless the universe has other plans, so I got to take care of myself, right? I'm not here to judge anybody. I don't judge people for their choice. I judge people when they start really doing some rickety shit and hurting and violating people in bad fucking ways, you know? But outside of this shit, I talk about shame a lot recently because I just feel a lot of shame around me. And I hate that shit because it's not even about me feeling odd, because people tell me, gosh, you don't understand how strong you are. You know, and I'm like, this is all of our rights. You have the right to feel good about yourself. You have the right to be an asshole toward the right people. You have the right to go make your art. You have the right to feel good in the body that you have. Just shut the fuck up and stop trying to convince everybody else that's not going to be convinced, and just live your life. That's the problem. We keep trying to be tyrannical and convince everybody else. And I'm doing it too right now. Hey, everybody, you need to just fucking lock in with the devil and your life will be okay. Like, that's nuts. So I understand that. But like, As an energy reader, it fucking breaks my heart. It really does, that people are so worn down. I'm like, I see a warrior spirit worn the fuck down, and I want to just smack somebody silly with love, though, not like in a mean way. I'm just like, fucking snap out of it. You're letting the Jews win. Going to hell. I am. I don't believe in hell, but you know what I mean. It is. It's not anti-Semitic. It is. I'm not. I respect the Jewish community who is holding these people accountable. There are plenty of Jewish good people and rabbis that are speaking out against this shit, like in the United States. I know that for a fact. I'm not going to be labeled in this linear, fucking biased, convenient manner so my sovereignty can be suppressed. We've done that. You do that when you're telling people to censor themselves. You're telling that when you give people power with words. You do. It's controversial, but what the fuck is the point of this? Why is anybody even on a satanic path if you're not going to be confrontational to protect your sovereignty and your expansion? Because what I see is people are so fucking drowning in victimhood, and some of it's just bubbly bullshit and I just can't relate. But when I mean victimhood, I also mean it in a respectful manner, that fucking people forgot how powerful they were. And that pisses me off, because then BB Netanyahu, who's fucking gay and can't handle it, he wins. He wins. Him and his fucking tyrannical brigade full of cowards and yes men with sniper scopes that would take any of us out because they can't 1v1 our asses in the fucking desert like men. Nope, they can't do that. They will go, pew, take us out because we're speaking too much. Fuck them. You fucking say the things that you have to say. Like, at some point, we have to stop allowing this shit. I'm not saying be heinous and reckless, because part of me is like, yeah, let's do that. But at some fucking point, are we going to just keep biting our ankles and getting fucked in the ass? Or are we going to take our power back and say, you know what? No, I'm not where I want to be right now in my life. And a lot of it has to do with this shit around me. But I am in control over something. And that is like literally what I've had to learn. It doesn't matter what that looks like. It does not matter whatever that looks like to you. Whatever you're avoiding is the thing. Like he will. Any of these demons will. They will fucking put your face, they grab you by the nape, and you need to fucking look in the mirror. I love you, you can fucking look in the mirror. What are you doing? But no, we've conditioned ourselves because of short format content, social media, and post-COVID nonsense. Oh, this is inclusive, and everybody's welcome to the satanic community, but we need to police each other. We need to just watch what we say and not trigger anybody. Fuck all of that noise. Fuck out of here with your nonsense and your lollipop bullshit and fucking lock in. Oh, you can't say that. I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. How about that? I trust me, I am not always liked. Can you believe it? I am not always liked simply because I don't want to be censored. I don't want to be told what to do when the only reason people are telling me what to do is so they can fit this comfortable narrative to where they don't have to grow or face themselves. And then we all keep contributing to it and look at society. Everybody's reading off of a fucking script. Trust me, it drives me nuts. It'll drive you nuts. Doctors read off of a fucking script. They don't even know what they're talking about anymore. They just fucking are told what to say. Schools, all of it. And nobody wants to admit, oh, no, that's not true. Well, then why are your kids illiterate in the school system? Why are all of the books written by Epstein's bitch's fucking father? All the McGraw textbooks. Why is that? I'm a homeschooling parent, by the way. I've been a home educator for almost 20 years. And I also do for a disabled child. Because I'm too petty to quit on my kids. And I understand that not everybody has that accessibility. I will not glamorize what it took for me to do that for my kids when I was younger. I will not glamorize it because it's fucking traumatizing. I didn't want them in the same system that I was in, coming from California and seeing how manufactured that shit is. I had a disadvantage and an advantage. When you grow up in gang territory, you know since the 80s that the fucking government doesn't like you. You know that it's all bullshit, that the CIA brings in, drugs and arms. They bring in illegal weapons and tell you need to disarm yourself. And then when they get caught doing it, they're like, oh, well, we just pay a little fine. I dealt with that my whole life. I've seen this shit, and this public school systems are like prison camps. You have metal detectors. Kids are fucking knifing each other. It's nuts. And this is like 7th graders. This isn't like, even high schoolers are kids, but this is crazy shit. And you see that, so I had a unglamorous advantage of seeing that early on. But now where we are, because I kept my kids out of it, and I just got them into martial arts and art and stuff like that so they can have friends and, you know, community. But like how it is now, most of these kids are illiterate and they're on fucking social media during class, and the teachers can't say shit to them, and the parents are overworked and overwhelmed. They don't know what the fuck to do with their own kids. And they're all walking billboards, and I'm like, can we just fucking stop trying to make this work and sugarcoat shit, especially in our own dark spiritual communities? Has anybody got to say anything about it? Because anytime I do speak up, people go, "Oh, you must be a conservative." I don't fucking vote for anybody because they're all occupied. They're all compromised. I don't like people who tell me what to do. They're supposed to be working for us. We're supposed to be the captains here. That courtroom that you have to go to, that's your fucking courtroom. Your taxes paid for it. Not the judge most likely is loopholing that shit anyways. It ain't his courtroom, it's fucking yours. That attitude without your ego taking over, okay? That's the attitude that you need, especially coming into this next year. So my premonitions, because people are nice on TikTok to me and they'll say, "Oh, can you, do some channel messages?" I won't do it because people don't want to hear what I have to fucking say. People want to hear everything good, and I don't hear everything bad. I hear everything realistically fucking hard. And sometimes that's hard for me to articulate because to my core, I have empathy for people. I'm not an asshole. But when I get in flow state, especially with his energy, I merge energies and I really fucking could get into flow state. I trust me, I record myself all the time. I don't know if anybody will ever hear it besides the fucking FBI. But I don't care. I'm not paranoid, I promise. But I have to check myself a little bit. And I feel like people don't understand that because they are so conditioned to sweeten demons. And it's not that demons are horrific and evil. Like, I don't get that sense. I've never had problems with benevolent spirits at all. I actually can work really well with those energies. I'm really blessed in that area, I guess, because I've had to pay for it in other fucking areas. But I will say they will give you really hard truths, and it's not up to you to let your ego govern you when you're trying to get through to people, because it's easy for our ego to get involved. I've said this on TikTok. I gotta treat my shadow and my ego like fucking Michonne off of Walking Dead, how she had the, almost said clickers, the walkers, how they're all behind her. That's fucking me with my shadow and my ego, because I'm so messed up that I can let these bitches fucking go nuts. And I'm not tough. I'm just kind of clicked off a little bit because of life and stuff. It's not fun, and people don't understand that part. So it's like when you're on a intense path with intense energies, even if you don't see them theistically, and it's just a atheistic blueprint for your psychology, which is very fucking valid, and that also is a layer to it. And when you already are a bit goofy in the head and you're doing this shit, you're gonna fuck around with your own psychology a bit. So having these layers of things happening in society, it can be very heavy. We're not in the 90s where we had problems, but it was less noisy. It was more internal noise because of like marketing toward women and toward men and telling us what to do, and that we have to be super skinny and we have to be super this and we have to be super cool and we have to get along with in the groups, and we got to be one of the cool kids. And some of us were like, fuck that shit, I'm gonna be fat and lonely. And we had to rebel in those ways. Now those sort of things, we have a lot of problems with that, but it's less taboo for somebody to have pink hair or a spiky collar on or something like that, or a chain wallet, But back in my day, that was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" That was kind of like you were not a good kid if you were doing those things. And I'm like, most of the kids that I knew that were doing those kids were pretty fucking decent kids, to be honest. Unlike your dorky fucking kid who's lying to your face and doing heinous shit behind your back and has no street smart, so he's fucking it up for everybody. He's gonna probably overdose because he wants to impress a bunch of stupid people because the system told him he has to be cool and you didn't allow him or educate his ass. You just fucking sheltered and breastfed him for 18 years. Like that sort of shit. So, but where we are now in 2026, we're in the middle of it, and it's shifting, and it's going to be very fast, but we are just full of external and internal noise along with this heavy ass shame. And I don't want to see it anymore. I talk to quite a few people in the community that we've built over the years, and I hear some heavy fucking stories, and I feel heavy energy. I feel heavy, intense, powerful people. And it's almost like for me, my numbers are small because numbers, likes and hearts and thumbs ups and all this fucking dumbass bullshit. It's a slot machine. I have small numbers, but like the intense, the vast energies, the people that like my content, they make up for that. Because I really don't want to appease to this noise. This sugar-coated, half-ass fucking 4-minute miracles and witchcraft, and it's just all becoming diluted, and just we're all gonna be butt-fucked by our demons because we're special and pretty, and it's getting out of hand. I think everybody's stuck in it's all a chat GPT prompt at this point. I really feel like that, and I can't fucking take it anymore, and I don't want to go nuts. And I have to be honest about that. If I let that shit consume me just from observing too much, it will bleed into me. I'm not immune. Just because I'm a tough cookie doesn't mean that I am bulletproof. But I like to be petty and go, the bullets don't hurt, bitch. You shot like a fucking pussy. Like, I can't do this shit anymore. So I have to really just step out of it. That doesn't mean that you have to be disconnected from the shit going on in the world, but don't hold on to like, oh, I gotta prove to everybody I care, because we don't. I hate saying it. We care in a maternal and paternal manner that there's heinous shit going on. We're not laughing at this shit, but we don't care enough to get out of our cages. But like, here's my thing. That's not your reality. Your reality is to master yourself and to make sure that you can do what you want to do before you can help everything else. Because I see a lot of people exhausting themselves trying to just say the right thing, but he tells me this too. We're talking too much. And I don't want to glamorize that. Because I don't want to fucking even influence that. I'm not an influencer. I don't want to influence that. But what he says, his rebellious nature, is that as a collective, we are talking too much at this point to where it has turned into static. And that static is a distraction from all this shit. Because these assholes are just rubbing it in our faces now. You got Palm Beach Pete, that sort of shit. It's a joke. This dude, if he's Epstein or not, is mocking and laughing and either pretending to be or is a person who trafficked children and molested children and blackmailed a lot of people that are in power that you had the illusion of voting for, and you worshipped because you looked up to some pop culture icons that got in because of nepotism or selling their sovereignty and contracting themselves. That ain't the devil's energy. That is anti what these beings have taught a lot of us. That's not sovereign. That's not a warrior spirit. I don't believe that these beings, like the fallen angels, I know these are just terms that we use. I don't believe that they were just coming down to get laid and wanting to cause ruckus. What caused disruption is letting the human experience expand by teaching us sciences and self-defenses and standing up for yourself, and also not feeling ashamed if you want to, mesh your energy with another person. Some of us don't want to be fucking touched by anybody, but other people do, and you have the right to do that without shame, because shame is what anchors you back into this NPC sort of compliant livestock mentality. It does, and that's what the system wanted since antiquity. And I don't believe that these beings are teaching us to just be reckless and lie and be scummy. My demons don't do that. My demons say, have the fucking balls in the spine to speak the truth. Lie when you need to in order to protect yourself. Because people will be shamed for that. Like, especially if you deal with a lot of violence growing up or abuse and you lie because you feel either ashamed or afraid, that's different. But that's not what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a bunch of scummy ass pieces of shit who are taking trillions of dollars of your tax money that you worked for. Your net worth and your gross income are two different things. And then the money you get after all of your taxes are taken federally, you still pay taxes on every fucking move that you make. So when you really do the raw numbers, what are we getting after everything? We get taxed on fuel, we get taxed on food, we get taxed for fucking everything. It's expensive to have a job. It's very expensive to have to work. I won't do it. I would if I had to. I'm not like, wouldn't I just don't need to. I couldn't for 10 years anyways, and it was for a reason. I had to build something else. And because I detached from the system by force, because I wasn't allowed to work here for 10 years or leave or study, I've bitched about it a lot. I don't want to get into it. I was forced to take all of the skills that I learned in the system and learned from being abused and stuff too, and transmutate that into an ecosystem of, potential incomes and new skills, whether it's for survival or whether it's to thrive into and to build businesses and infrastructure. It's just been very difficult because I'm also a mom. And I had a relationship upheaval. I don't have family, I have to take care of my disabled child and I got to make it work. I have to make this shit work. And because it's so much easier now, my, I don't want to say calling or goal, it's just something in me wants to get through to somebody who feels hopeless, because I see energy and I feel it, and I feel so many blockages from people. And I also see potential, and I know a lot of you are the same way. A lot of us women are. We see potential in relationships, but in all seriousness, I see potential in everybody. Even if I don't like somebody, I don't really not like anybody. I don't know. I don't really. I don't turn a deaf ear. It's just nobody's qualified to be my fucking nemesis because I'm an arrogant bitch. But I don't like this. I don't hate anybody. Not because I'm nice. I just don't care. It takes a fucking really big piece of shit for me not to like you. But even then, I see potential. That's my whole point, is like, I see potential in everybody. I see beauty in people. I see fucking regality in some people. I see like, just, you have talents, like, but I see the child in people's eyes. I see that little boy, that little girl that was hurt or told that you're not good enough or you're too stupid or you're too that. And I'm like, fuck this shit. It's the fucking system that did this shit. So people, they've gotten upset at me over the years because I don't just talk about how to use obsidian crystals in your practice or how to do this. And I do all of that shit. But I'm like, you know what? I've done so many tutorials over the years. How much more do you need before you realize that you're just over consuming spirituality now? When are we going to actually start talking in the dark a little bit and having a tactical paradigm when it comes to our energy and our witchcraft and taking back from the system? So I will be sharing some stuff with you guys on here, and it'll be a bit of a slow burn to me getting back onto my podcast and even Kitchen Occultist. It's been a lot of work. It was not meant to be at the time. I had a condition in other areas, and I'm just doing it for fun. I'm not trying to build, and like, I don't mind building. I don't care. I'm not going to do this shit. I'm not going to start beatboxing every goddamn business and Patreon I have at the beginning of every fucking video and doing all this dance and chasing the goddamn algorithm. I'm going to do whatever I want, how I want it, and I'm just going to do my best. And it's just going to be authentic. And that is the message that the demons have been telling me to get through to people. He's not telling me to get through to people, but that's just the message, the energy that's going on. It is not my place to tell people what to do or to act like I'm a messenger, and I don't like being treated like that too. I've had people message me like, oh, Lucifer sent you here specifically. Bitch, I am not a fucking jester or an oracle. Go fuck yourself. I'm not here for, I don't deal with this shit. I'm not a fucking product. I am a cosmic old ass bitch having a human experience, and I'm mad about it. That's it. And I want to say something because I don't see a lot of people saying stuff, because I see a lot of strong fucking people that are drowning right now. And I'm not, because I was. I really needed my spiritual practice, and not to supplement it, but as a layer of my realities to really expand and go, okay, all of this happened for a reason, and we're going to acknowledge that it fucking didn't need to happen, right? I don't believe in this shit like, oh, I didn't fucking choose any of this shit. You choose how to deal with it. It happened, and that can be a transmutatable tool for you to expand and get what you deserve. And the resources will come in. You have to detach. You have to practice the law of detachment. And that doesn't just mean the people in your environment that don't want you to level up, because that's a big ass brutal factor. I'm the last fucking one standing, man. I've got a couple of decent, really good friends who listen to my podcast too, who I would do just about anything from because they have my back and they're decent people. Outside of that, I'm fucking doing my thing. I have to make my life work. Otherwise, it all crumbles. And that pressure is something that I enjoy. I don't know why. I don't chase adrenaline or anything. I don't chase highs or lows. If anything, the intensity that I feel on my spiritual path, I freak out because it feels so peaceful. But maybe somebody can unpack that for me. Sometimes we need that counsel too, you know? And our counsel is literally the devil. It's literally demons and goddesses. And it's hard. And I don't think they're archetypes though. I don't think they're just archetypes. I am, and it's not just because of astral experiences, because a lot of astral experiences are like holographic and two-dimensional, and that can be thought form. I'll probably dive into that like maybe in another episode. I'm trying to not make my podcast feel like I have to stay on one topic though, because it's just not my nature. Excuse me. I'm a female. I'm a woman. I have what we call spaghetti and waffles, where the feminine brain is spaghetti because everything leads to everything. If you have a wife or if you're a woman, you're in your feminine energy, you're going to know that. Well, fucking this argument started, but 10 years ago, motherfucker, we're here now because of that. We're men. The masculine mind is very compartmental. You know, it segregates all of those things. And that is a strength in crisis situations. You know, they're both strengths and they both have leniencies and weaknesses. But I can't operate in being compartmental and keeping myself in a fucking box, because then I start going into cycles and circles and I make my way around. But you guys seem to like that when I do that. But, you know, the cosmic experiences that seem holographic, a lot of the time it can be thought form. It can be us trying to, you know, or these energies are trying to teach us something about ourselves, you know, and giving us these metaphors. I genuinely believe that a lot of these beings aren't as contactable as people think. Like, people really treat all pantheon, and I'm not here to discourage or encourage anybody, but they treat them like e-commerce, like, oh, if you need this, just summon this demon. And it's like, if you really believe these are external beings that are very powerful, that have all these rankings and stuff, and you look at people in the human realm, how hard they are to access when they're in power, it's going to be kind of the same thing, in my opinion. So having actual contact with some of these intelligences, like I said, I don't even fucking want to make a big deal about it. It has made my life cave into itself to where I can't see shit the same anymore. But I do enjoy my life. I don't want people to feel like they have to search for that intensity. I didn't. I just kind of, I don't want to say woke up, because I was always awake, but like I was accepting of it. And so I'm not trying to be a prophet or any of this shit. I'm just coming from a different angle. But I genuinely feel like if you're feeling the call to lock in any area of your life, to let go of shame and to understand that if it is plausible, even if it's the lesser plausibility, that is all you fucking need. And that's how powerful you are, that you can conquer yourself within the lesser plausibility, because you're already on a very deep and dark path that is not palatable for most. Even within this community, because most people, they just romanticize the shit and they just, you know, Satan and Saint Michael are wanting to have an orgy. Fucking bitch, no, they're not. I can fucking promise you that. You're just a bit freaked out and you got to work on yourself. That's all. Or you can't fucking get a partner or something's happening. But this is what I mean. That sort of shit, it's getting crazy. That scares me fucking more than anything. And trust me, I've had to dissect all this shit with my demons because I'm like, I don't want to be like these people. What do I do? What if I'm fucking just talking to myself? I've done it for years. Okay, you can go mad. So I'm not trying to come at some angle like I'm the chosen one by Satan and I'm hearing all of these things. Like, no, it's fucking not like that. I have walked every goddamn part of that sector and back and forth to the point where he, the Demon King, is like, you need to fucking settle down, and literally shows proof, ridiculous proof. I'm real, it's real, and you're also so powerful, you're helping shift this. And you're so powerful that you don't need to be governed by this shit. And you're so powerful, you don't need to give this fucking bullshit system your energy. Because you know what? I made 2 pacts years ago when all of this started. I made a pact that I wanted to know the truth about myself and the world and the universe. And I made a pact with another demon who teaches weaponry. I made one pact, the first pact I made with a demon who's the big demon king, and he's rebellious and lawless. And he's been showing me fucking everything. Trust me, it started before I even said anything. And then another demon who teaches about weaponry and mastering yourself and really the mechanics of those skills and your coding. I told him I wanted to know my potential without losing myself. I wanted to know my fullest potential because it fucking was nagging at me. Shit in me was nagging at me because the system wants you to feel ashamed of your power. It wants you to feel ashamed of your talents. It wants you to feel ashamed of feeling good about yourself. It doesn't matter if you're conventionally or unconventionally attractive or it wants you to feel like shit about it. It wants you to feel guilty if you're a glamorous woman or a big handsome man, or it wants you to feel like shit if you don't look like society's telling you how to look. Now, you know what? Fuck that noise. You should be able to feel comfortable in your own skin. This is your vessel. This is your mech. This is just technology. That's it. You're operating this machine, and you are so fucking powerful without sounding like a deluded, bald fucking white dude with no eyebrows that never has an anger, You can heal yourself, dude. You can brainwash. We know the placebo effect works, but the CIA doesn't want to tell us what the fuck it is. And what it is, it's your own power. What it is you're really in control of this mechanism. And what it is if your energy is not siphoned from the system, from guilt, from shame, from being embarrassed about being yourself, from being told you're not good enough, from being told you're a fucking weirdo because you don't feel right with yourself, so you feel like you're something else, whatever it is, you need to fucking disconnect from that shit. And you need to look into the mirror and do your mirror magic. And I am personally not one that... I believe mirrors are portals and that things can come through. I just don't have the experience of like bad things happening to me with bad spirits. I'm just very fucking protected by a very powerful bad spirit. And that doesn't mean I'm immune. That means when I've had these experiences, I don't see anything of it. I'm not nonchalant. I feel the energy. I feel the intensity in my solar plexus and my heart and all of those energetic fields, but I don't feel... I don't know how to flinch because I'm already fucked up in the physical realm, because I was fucked up as a kid and I was clocked out of flinching at shit. So spiritually I am too. But what I'm saying is like, lock your mirrors. I just don't. And do your mirror magic, because you will start to see your higher self in that mirror, especially in the dark under candlelight. You will see your higher self. And when you see your higher self, look until it's blurry, even if your eyes are stinging, and don't look directly, just like look through your peripheral in the mirror and you're going to see yourself. And you will have the feeling of like, fuck, that's actually me. Like I said, I don't think I'm a demon or the devil or anything. I see him as well. And that's lots of things to dissect for me. Because a lot of the times he'll say hello, but I see myself as well. It's like this energy. I don't know how to explain it, but like I fucking have flinched at that shit. But when you do it consistent enough, when it feels right, okay, don't be afraid. That spooky feeling everybody feels, it's okay. That's you trying to get used to your growth. You're just uncomfortable. Because you've been programmed to like not feel safe in the dark, a lot of people. And some of us, we just have never felt afraid even as kids, but we're afraid of our fucking mirror when the lights are on, because that means we got to reveal our bullshit. We got to reveal our contributions to nonsense and drama and violence and shit. That's the whole point. But when you see your higher self, or you see your shadow in that mirror, so for some of us, it's both. You're going to have the feeling of understanding how you're supposed to feel about yourself. Do not feel afraid. I'm not a witch that feels spooked out and that everything is fucking bad and demons and demonic. There's a lot of witches like that, and I think that's just their alliance. That's where their signature, their energetic current belongs. I'm of the undercurrent. I'm backwards, so I don't know how to give that advice sometimes, because people think, oh, that's not fucking right to say because people are afraid and they flinch and stuff. I have to hold space for that. And when I have experiences, you guys, it's very intense. You know, it's not like, oh, hey, you know, like maybe now it's a little bit easier. But like, you know, when you see a fucking demon in your room and you actually see, and actually it feels like the world's gonna collapse, and you make contact in sleep paralysis, like touch contact, and it fucking feels like lightning throughout your whole body, and you think you're having a heart attack, but it's just your edible kicking in your sleep during sleep paralysis. It's fucking crazy, and it stays with you. And those are synchronicities. Don't go do a bunch of edibles to see if you can get into sleep. This is not how it works, okay? It will not work if you try to force it and do stupid shit. Please don't. I am a medical cannabis with fibromyalgia, and I take edibles at night sometimes, and sometimes they don't kick in right away, you know? So they kick in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping, and sometimes it happens when I'm having sleep paralysis and about to have an out-of-body experience. So don't try to force it, all right? But if you want your edibles to kick in quicker when you're infusing your oils, use soy lecithin. You want to use, I think it's 5 grams per cup. That will help your cannabis kick in within 20 minutes, but then it will be a bit shortened down. So it's just, for me, I know I'm kind of off topic, but I have to teach you guys. But it's just, for me as a medical patient, it just sucks being in pain and you need relief, and it takes 8 hours sometimes. But anyways, I've had that shit happen where I forgot that I took my oils way earlier in the day, and I've just been kind of soldiering on, and then you go to bed and I get like restless legs and shit like that. And then all of a sudden you're in sleep paralysis because you're about to go to the fucking moon or Saturn or somewhere else that you don't know. And then all of a sudden your edible kicks in, and then you see a portal, and you put your hand through, and you make contact, and you brush your hands with the fucking demon, and your life just kind of fucking changes. And that sounds cinematic. I have nothing to prove. That's one of many experiences, and I don't know how to. I'm just saying too much at this point, because I don't know what is mystic and what's just too fucking much. I don't have the sensor. I wish I did. Something smells like it's smoking. It's just my pipe. My senses, I will say, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm gonna put my glasses on to see where we are. 2 hours. Is that a long time to talk? My senses have really improved over time. My vision went up 5 points too, but I have the fucking nose of a basset hound now. And I'm saying, like, just with my expansion with all of this too, like decentering from the system and not chasing intensity. Please don't fucking do that. Please do not do stupid shit. I'm talking to some young people here. Do not chase intensity, okay? I will fucking jinx you, and you will have wet ankled pants for a whole goddamn winter, okay? I will make sure you step in a puddle every fucking day. I do not want people to chase intensity if this is not how it works. It just happens for some of us. And you just kind of accept it. And the more that you accept it, the more comfortable you get. And then you become uncomfortable with the fact that you're comfortable with this shit. And then you realize that's the whole fucking gag of it. That's the whole lesson for you, is to feel okay with yourself. Because a lot of us are very intense. You're on this path, or you feel aligned or drawn to demons for a reason, you know? I'm not trying to glamorize it or turn it into this big super group. I think there's too many edgelords that need a kick in the fucking balls, and they need their balls to be kicked up to their head, because obviously their skull's empty, and they're doing this shit stupid, and they're glamorizing the shit that they shouldn't. And they are going on their platforms and being arrogant and I'm arrogant. Like, I'm not saying don't be arrogant. I'm saying, but they're just like, oh yeah, well, I'm fucking hardcore. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Lock in. Shut up and go meditate. Just show us. That's where I'm coming from too, you guys. And I'm not trying to be rude, because there's areas in my life I'm not fucking doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm getting there, you know. I'm a human being too. But like, I just hear a bunch of yap. It gets back to me what he's been saying. It's like we're talking too much. We, not you guys. We're talking too much. And we need to stop talking and actually walk the walk. And we're afraid, because that means we're out of the gilded cage. We're being enslaved, and you can attract nice things and abundance and peace without slaving yourself out. And it's not easy all the time. It can be, but I genuinely feel that if people get that call, whatever it means to you, it's like it's next 6 months. And I know this too, because I do a New Year's reading with my older kids. We do it every year. We've been doing it for years, a 12-month spread. And from this time here on out to December, it's like going to be very busy. If you decide, okay, I'm not saying to stop smoking cigarettes or whatever. Let's say you want to quit smoking, right? If you do it now, it's going to be easier. Is my case. It's gonna the motions of it all. You're gonna burn through it quicker, because there's just some shift that happened, and this is a really important turning point in the human evolution. And for those of us who are like, you know what, we're gonna do the thing we're supposed to do, or I'm gonna fucking pull my spine out of my ass and I'm gonna become that photographer, or I'm going to model, or I'm going to speak on my platform and not care about how I look, because it wouldn't matter. It would not matter. It doesn't, for who? A bunch of fucking neckbeards and rotten fucking lime-sucking bitches that are gonna hate on you anyways? Like, who the fuck cares? And I just wish I can fix that for everybody. It hurts to see. And I've been there to an extent, you know? I've been there in my own ways, but it's just, I don't know. I've always also believed in myself. I'm gonna pull some cards. So if you like the longer videos, and you made it this far, which a lot of you do, let me know. And I'll try to a little more often, because I enjoy it. And I'm isolated. I have my demons, and I have my kids, and I have a couple good friends that I don't get to talk to often. But we have the Seven of Pentacles upright, all right? The long-term view. This is the long haul. This is the slow, it's a slow burn sort of vibe, but it's going to be rapid fire. If you get into that flow state and you acknowledge when you're in flow state, even if it's hard and you catch yourself, okay, I'm scrolling and getting way too invested and engulfed into politics and shit going on, because I got to stay up to date, because then I feel guilty, because I got to stay connected, because we got to fight this shit. I understand that, but like this long-term energy, if you can get yourself into flow state, acknowledge it when it happens. Acknowledge, because it's hard. People aren't in flow state right now, and it's nuts, because this is why, this whole noise is why. I hate that shit, because there's too many creative people. But you also need to stop measuring your success compared to things that were given to a lot of people. Even with hard work, there's a lot of nepotism and connections. That's the reality. It doesn't matter how talented you are. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are. It doesn't matter what you are. If you don't know the right people, or you ain't related to the right fucking tribe, you ain't gonna get shit unless you sell your sovereignty. Unless you contract your fucking words and your opinions. Because a lot of these celebrities, they tell you who to vote for, they tell you what to buy, they tell you what to believe in, and the politicians do it too, and all the tech fucking nerds do it too, and they make a little joke and a meme, and everybody just fucking claps like seals. That's the kind of shit we have to avoid. If you're a musician, if you're a singer, if you're a model, if there's things you want to do, just fucking do it, dude. You will find your people. You don't need the system in order to have success for yourself, and success needs to be redefined. That is what he's telling me. And we get to redefine that shit. We get to decide, fuck Hollyweird and all their weirdos and all of their cucked out celebrities. A lot of them that were on that island, or they knew about it and didn't say shit. Very few have, and they just get called what? Crazy? They all get called crazy. They're very few, or they die, you know? And they're at least fucking brave enough. So, yeah, I'm getting the star energy. I got the star card and the temperance. I was getting star energy, and I pulled it as soon as I said it. You have to embody the temperance, all right? The temperance does not fuck around. She knows that she's the shit, but she's not governed by it. She is free with herself, and that she's misunderstood too, because a lot of people think the temperance is like, I'm the high priestess, I'm the heh. Fuck all of that shit out of here. That is goy slop, and we're not doing it anymore. We're fucking done with it all. And those are not all of my words. There's some of his words. But the temperance you have to embody. The temperance is confident with her body. She is confident with her mind. She knows she's brilliant. She knows she's a spiritual being. And she knows no matter what's going on in her life, it's a reflection of what happened in the past. And she knows it doesn't define her. She just can be refined from that shit. And that's why she walks with such good posture without like having a big fucking metal pole up her ass. She is just in flow state. The temperance, even the word temperance sounds like water. It's like a very flow state sort of energy. And that's how you become the star. And that's how you become the boss too. There's a sector of people who you know that. You become the boss for that sort of shit. You got the Queen of Cups and you got the Page of Wands in reverse. You have to let go of trying to save everybody else. You have to let go of bitching. You have to let go of trying to convince people. You know how like I'm kind of doing right now? My paradigm has shifted. I'm doing it because I'm enjoying this shit. I used to do it because I wanted to fucking help people and I got to wake people up and heary, and people are like, just do a fucking cool jig or show us your tits. And I'm like, I don't show them. Why are you asking me? There's lots of beautiful women. Like that sort of fucking energy. I'm so serious. You would be surprised. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking do any of that shit. I want to tell you that the Jews are running everything into the ground and everybody's calling everybody anti-Semitic for it. And that's not the truth, because it's fucking Zionists at the top who are using these occult systems have been fucking everything up since antiquity, because they want human beings to be enslaved, because they want you to be just brain rotted out of your mind so we can be like the people off of Wall-E, all those little gorditos off of Wall-E just sitting there fucking scrolling and eating all day, and I don't want to do it anymore. We had our season. We got to be fucking just consumers of this bloated pig of AmeriCorp, and I want out. And people go, oh, you're a fucking bitch for that. Yeah, I don't need that. I want the devil to tell me everything's going to work out easily. It's like, well, good fucking luck, sweetheart, because even if you're blessed very, very easily by the devil, you're still going to have to fucking put work into yourself, because you know how I feel? And this doesn't apply for everybody, but it applies for some people with your own spirits, your own ancestors, your own demons, whatever your alliance is. I am very fucking blessed. When I allow him in, I am so blessed, but I care so much that I'm like, fuck, I would never want to abuse that or take power by proxy and hide behind that shit and give all my power to a man. Pfft, please. That's why I tell people too who ask about that sort of shit, like for those of you who try to supplement, and I'm not trying to shame on you because I want to. I'm not going to fucking lie. But when you're like, oh, I'm going to summon the devil and I'm going to take his power and I feel so high off of it, fuck out of here with this shit. You got your own. You got your fucking own. You don't need it. You don't need, this is not what you do. Can you imagine somebody doing that to you? Can you imagine? Oh, and some of you guys are suckers though. Oh, I would give my power to everybody. No, you sound nuts. You're inexperienced. You're like these people I've heard in the survival community where it's a known thing if you're out on top of a mountain, which is where you want to be if shit hits the fan, because of water source and leverage over everybody else, right? I fucking heard people say, oh, I would be out in the woods cooking sausages for everybody that comes by. And I'm like, you understand, sir, that I would be giving those sausages to my kids and I'd be fucking eating you for dinner if it gets that bad. Okay, if I'm not saying it's going to, or that I feel like that either, by the way. It's hypothetical in these communities. You prepare for the worst, and some people hope for the worst, and some of us, we just like to do it, and we want to just do our best, and fuck it. Well, you know, you can't control the outcome. Somebody can have bigger guns than you. It doesn't matter. But that sucker energy, you can't do that. Oh, I'm going to cook sausages for everybody who's starving to death when shit hits the fan and the grid goes down. Good fucking luck, dude, because a lawless society is pretty primitive and feral and fucked up. And I would never go and violate somebody and just, I'm going to eat everybody. But if you're fucking starving and you haven't eaten for a week and you got kids and you're fucking rattled, you might. I'm not saying that I have the desire, okay? Because Satanists already get a bad rap for that shit because all these fucking celebrities eating people because they're bored, because they don't work on themselves. And boy, if they only did their shadow work, they wouldn't be such piece of fucking shit, just parasites, dude. They're not elite. They're fucking parasites. And they're such parasites that they would take offense so easily and have us killed for saying it to them. That's how fucking I'm going to use my power because it's false power. And I don't want to be a part of it. And that's why I get fucking mad when people start glamorizing, oh, I'm going to take power from the devil. It's like, you are just like these assholes. Go join their fucking clan. Full of losers with money. Your money. Losers with fucking money, and you're going to suck their asses? When they can't even handle their own shit, they got to push buttons and they have to hire a bunch of yes men that are so easily governed by money that they will hurt innocent people because they're fucking starving. That is the reality of this shit. We are hanging on by a thread in society, and everybody is so fucking avoidant over the pink elephant in the room that they want to fight over stupid shit. And they want an easy solution. You want to be told, oh, you just do a ritual, east and west, and you can have all the power from the fallen angels. And they're going to want to fuck you in the ass too because they love you because you're chosen. That's fucking nuts to me. This is what I mean. Like, I can't help any of these people, and I don't want to. That's why the devil tells me, he says, you don't need to. These people are stupid. Go live your life. You're blessed. You have abundance. Every time I'm excited about something, I get more of it in my environment, and I'm not like greedy. I'm just living. Despite my circumstances, despite my story, despite fucking all of these blockages that the system is trying so ruthlessly hard, because it fucking sucks here in Australia. Economically, it sucks. And the tyranny is getting out of control, and people are losing their rights. And you know what? I'm glad Aussies are starting to stand up, because we're getting kind of tired of this shit. I love this country. The people have been really good to me here, and they don't fuck around. They're nuts, okay? They have to survive the wildlife and the bugs here. It's crazy, all right? It's pretty crazy here. And you know what? I don't want to see it just turn into AmeriCorp, and I don't want to see Americans just fall to this shit. Because we're collapsing. And I'm sorry, no, you know what? I lied. I said I was going to not go there, and the whole podcast was just me going there. But you know what? You don't have to watch. You can just watch something nice, and you can just flinch when you see me and go, not today, Amber, because you're just going to fucking go on about it. And that's fine. I accept that. I'm used to that sort of shit. But you've got some cards here, and they're all in reverse except for one. I think this is the 10 of Swords is the only one that's upright. That's very self-explanatory if you're familiar with tarot. If not, that's a card where you're fucking wounded. You see this guy, he's pinned. But he also has hands available. And he kind of put himself in that position. Right? And I hate saying that because you're probably thinking, well, bitch, 10 people or at least one person stabbed him 10 times. What the fuck? And it's like, well, why didn't he try to pull out one of those swords or at least get up? Because you can't always pull something out. You can bleed out, you know. But like, just hear me out. Why did he allow it for that long to where now there's 10 fucking swords? Why did he sit there like a dumbass possum and allow 10 people to stab his ass? Because they all couldn't have done it at once. So he had to have been taking it and going, it'll get better. And that's the energy I'm getting. That's the collective energy. And then right here we have the 10 of Wands in reverse. Everybody's fucking lost themselves because you're carrying all these burdens and wounds. You're like this. You're like, oh, I fucking allowed people to stab me in the ass 10 times, and now it's heavy. It's like, well, no shit. Now you got to carry all those fucking wounds. And you like it because you've been programmed to flinch at your own power and potential and your beauty, your inner and your outer beauty. And now you're just a fucking victim. I hate saying it. I want to be nice. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just having a little bit of fun. But like, that's the energy that I'm getting, right? And then you got some more fucking fucked up cards. You get the 4 of Wands in reverse. And then you've got the 8 of Wands in reverse. And that has to do with delays. That has to do with you avoiding yourself spiritually. You're avoiding your higher self. You might be doing all the work too. Some of you guys too. I'm being very... I love ceremonial magic, but some of you ceremonial magicians, you need to fucking stop a little bit. Okay, put the books down and the East and West bullshit and just kind of sit with yourselves. Because sometimes you get a bit too pragmatic and technical and you think that's going to fix it. And you can't do it anymore. And if you're not a ceremonial magician and you're just operating like that in your life, and you probably would be a ceremonial magician, I think ceremonial magic's great, okay? It is quite an experience. But I'm also a chaos practitioner. And I also don't like being told what to do or to be into rigid rules and told you need to fucking spin around 3 times counterclockwise and light a black candle. It's like, I will fucking light a joint. and spin around fucking clockwise and sit the fuck down and talk to the devil if I want to. I don't want to do this shit. The message isn't that your methods are invalid. It becomes performative after a while if you're avoiding the pink elephant in the room. All right? Now I've got death. This is a perfect card. And the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords bitches so fucking much. The Knight of Swords, see what he's brave, but he's bitching about it. He's like, this isn't fucking fair. I should be at home. I don't want to be doing this shit. This is fucking not right. Everything's bad for me. He's the biggest fucking bitch, dude. He's got a heart of a warrior, though. He's on a horse with a sword, you know? He's not sitting there fucking himself in the ass like the whatever of wands in reverse, the 10 of wands in reverse. He's doing stuff, but he's bitching, and you're casting spells when you do that sort of stuff. So you have to let that die. The death card is not, a lot of you guys know this already, but some people don't. Death card is not bad, all right? You have to kill that part of yourself. You are not going to avoid it. You can't bypass it with spiritual bypassing bullshit or ceremonies or anything. You have to sit with yourself. And I don't want to say this in an arrogant, egotistical way, because many magicians who are very, very adept, they get stuck in this ego trap where once you don't need the tools, they start pissing around about it. They start trying to shame everybody about it, right? Because you don't. I use tools because I'm a cosmic being having the human experience, and it's fun for me. I like reading energy. This is a tool too. This is all metal and crystals and alchemized, into plastic and stuff. Alchemy, alchemized oils and stuff like that. These are tools. But I'm getting this message that some of you need to try to not use tools if you are very codependent on your tools. And it's not because you're doing anything wrong. It's because a paradigm shift sometimes takes you disheveling everything that you're comfortable with or that you kind of cling on to. And this is very common in witchcraft. I think most of us have gone through this season where we gravitate toward our altar, our candles, or crystals. I've been a witch for a very long time. I've had seasons of not practicing, but I used to do that when I was a teenager. It's like when something bad happens, you go straight to the altar. I'm going to fucking light a candle and I got to make this happen because shit's not working. It's almost like you're using a cheat code. I mean this in a non-bad way, but because you're depending on cheat codes, you're not understanding that you can shift your paradigm and not have that sense of panic, and then your witchcraft is a layer. It's like an emphasis. I use my witchcraft because it's fun, and I love merging my energy with my demon so much, and it's gorgeous, and I don't share that work. I don't want to. Sometimes I want to, and I've shared small glimpses of it, but it's my favorite part, and it's just this beautiful, intimate thing, but it just really... When you understand that you don't need the tools and you don't need the ceremony, but you use them anyways alongside just shifting with your energy and your paradigm and transmutation just by operating in your life. Because look at, a lot of people get stuck on mysticism because capitalism induces that. Capitalism makes this shit feel so fucking barren and sterile that we start treating our crystals and the beauty of witchcraft like it's a god almost. We worship it, and you don't need to. This is you're just merging your energies and understanding and communicating. You know, my obsidian pipe with my herbal blends in them. I'm communicating with this thing. I use this for magic too. My pipe. I like to harvest energy with it. So I'm not doing it toward you, by the way. I promise. I don't do that on my own platforms, but I have when I've read bad comments watching another video and I'm just smoking a bit, and it's a temporary vessel. So I use obsidian heavily just in my practice, but just my everyday life. I love obsidian a lot, but I don't need this. It's fun. It kind of anchors that energy. It's all up here, guys. It's all in this cloud above us too, I believe. I believe that, our thoughts aren't in our heads, if that makes sense. And a lot of quantum physics breaks this down, and I'm just not qualified to articulate that. But I feel this message that some people who are really clinged on to the tutorial mentality of witchcraft, that you need to let it go. And then some people actually need to be a bit chaotic in their practice And that's hard for people. Chaos witches, usually it's not hard for us. Or brujas either, you know, which is a lot of brujeria is chaos magic, to be honest. I mean, there's structures and there's things people have done for a long time, traditions, if you will. But it's a lot of chaos. It's like, I'll take this fucking tea bottle and we're going to wrap it up with some shit, you know. I think that there is a sector of people who are watching this who are too pragmatic with their practice, and you cling on to being an adept because you read a lot of books and you do the tutorials through your textbooks. But you need to let go for a bit and kind of play around with it. And you will see, it'll freak you out a little bit. And don't do it like operating like force. Like, for instance, people got mad at me on TikTok because I communicate through storms. I do a lot of storm magic and I communicate with my demon through storms and shooting stars and stuff at times, but it's not show me a sign. It's my energy is so aligned in that moment in such in flow state, it happens. I already knew that it was going to happen. I already knew that the shooting star was going to happen, but if I had this arrogance, this ego to perform, make a shooting star for me, it's not going to happen, because for one, you're not going to be telling the devil what to do, and two, these are very intelligent, cosmic, abstract beings, you know, who have feelings. But two, and they're not stupid. But two, that's just going to like dilute the intimacy of it. And when you decenter from that shit, you'll be in flow state. And you will have, I show this on Kitchen Occultist a lot. I've got bats, crows, soldier flies. I've got Bombay cats that started spawning in the yard. I've had my property hit by lightning. I've had a lot of crazy experiences. And the more I'm in flow state, the more that kind of shit happens. But I like that chaos, and it's not because I am commanding that the fallen angels communicate through storms. It's just, I already knew it was going to happen. I already had that experience, and when I connect my energy, it happens. And that's it. It's raining outside now. It's not anything to do with being performative or arrogant in those ways. I'm very respectful. But my whole point is when you detach a little from the tools at times, you'll kind of freak out in a good way. You're like, holy shit, you know? That's how powerful we are. That's how we can align with nature. You're communicating. I don't believe in coincidences. Sometimes, but like when things happen in many layers, it's like 2 or 3 things that are coincidences and they all kind of communicate together. That's the kind of shit for me that I am having this message that you need to focus on not using the tools so you can have those experiences. Like for me, I've had experiences where I have a consecrated divination coin that I don't use anymore. My daughter uses it to speak to the Demon King. Okay? I don't coerce my kids into this shit at all. My kids, I know a lot of you guys who are parents have talked to me, and your kids have had alliances with goddesses, with Hecate, with gods, demons. Promise you, I am not doing that. But I have this divination coin that I consecrated. I only used with him until we outgrew it. And one day we were just having a conversation, and I hear his voice like in layers, right? And he said, we are 2 sides of the same coin, Amber. And my nonverbal child, and nobody's ever touched this coin in their lives besides me. I don't even know why I brought it into the house. And he opened his mouth and the coin fell out. Like he just opened it because, you know, autistic kids put things in their mouth. And he's older, and I'm not saying it's right. Like maybe I should have put my coins away and stuff. But like he came into my room, opened his mouth, and just like dropped the coin out. And of course, at first, I'm like, "Don't you're putting things in your mouth? No, are you okay? You know, because I'm a mom to a special needs child." But then it landed on yes, and it was like the coin I only use for this specific spirit. That sort of shit will start to happen. And I'm not saying it will with any specific spirit, God, goddess, ancestor. I'm saying just when you're aligned with yourself, if it is with spirits or it's just with yourself, which is perfectly fine. Not everybody works with spirit. You don't need to. Some people you might have contracts or You're just really drawn to each other. That's different, you know, but you don't need to in order for your magic to work. So I just felt like I needed to say that, and I'll wrap this up soon. There's another sector of you. You got the Page of Swords in reverse, who feels very hopeless. And then you've got the Nine of Wands upright, who also has a big old pair of balls. And these cards really represent warriors who are really worn down right now. You need to change your paradigm, and if anything, you should be doing a bit more magic. For those of you who know that your strength and you feel fucking defeated and you feel like, fuck, man, I'm going down and I ain't going down like this. You should be doing some deep work and doing some fun magic, the message that I'm getting. Don't just practice magic when you need to hex somebody or you need to ward something or you need to transmutate negative energy. We get stuck into that. Like, I understand that as somebody who's a chaos witch. I transmutate. My whole homestead's consecrated with my demon's energy and other spirits' energy too. And it works for me like a big ecosystem. You get caught up in that. That's a victim mentality, right? You need to do some fun magic. Do some good luck spells. Okay, and you'll find discounts at the store if the cost of living's fucking you up and it's screwing with you. It's not you, it's screwing with my ego. It messes with you. We shouldn't, a lot of people are struggling. We shouldn't be doing this shit. Trust me, I have like a decent income and it doesn't always fucking seem that way. It's like, what the fuck, what are we doing, you know? And I do my magic, and you know what? My groceries, I get discounts all the time. My gardens flourish. I've got beautiful people who gift me produce, and I'm not like a charity case or anything. My garden's flourishing. I have resources that come in from all angles. I do good luck spells. And I will get good luck. I'll win a little money, or I get like, you know, people send me money, and I don't ask for shit. I don't e-beg. I've never done it. I don't like e-begging. But you need to do some fun magic, all right? I've got the natural gifts came in again, the second node card, and I shuffled these. You need to do magic and also amplify that by doing things that you enjoy that you're good at, all right? If you're good at drawing, if you're good at singing, even if you're singing in the shower, that's part of your magic. People forget this. People who get stuck on the mysticism, like I talked about earlier, the people who kind of cling on to their witchcraft a bit, you forget that you are a powerful fucking tool. Your body, your voice, its vibrational frequency. We cast spells on ourselves. We're that powerful. We are that fucking powerful. But for the warriors here who are really feeling defeated, you need to do some fun magic. And I also have this energy, people who do not practice witchcraft, but you're curious, to do something lighthearted. And to not be afraid. I'm not trying to be reckless, but I think people get too afraid. This is Aquarius energy. Okay, and I am a Sun rising in Mercury Aquarian, and this is all about humanitarian and being rational and being innovative. And innovation is the big energy. I was thinking of the word, or at least the energy of innovation during this conversation. It's like you need to get creative in your environment. All right, like for instance, like I'm going to just use my stuff as an example. I love jewelry. And I love copper very much in my garden, in my jewelry. I love it because it's healthy for you. So I strip copper off of shit that I don't need anymore. And I just make my own stuff. I make my own little crowns and my own little things. And you be innovative. You have abundance and you can sell that shit. Like at least here it's like $15 a kilo, you know? Be innovative. Be a scavenger. Be a survivor. You are still a king or a queen in those environments. Don't think that you need to wear a crown in order to be that or look the part or anything. Your regal, your spiritual regality doesn't fucking care about the arena. You're still going to walk with your spine intact. And I just really feel like I needed to say that to some people. So there's a few more cards and then I'm probably going to wrap it up because it's getting a bit late and I got to get up early tomorrow because I got shit to do on the homestead. But let's see, we got a few more cards for those of you warriors that are feeling defeated. All right. You have to shift your direction. All right. It's talking about reputation and direction. And I feel like some people, because you have a bad rap, because you got a big voice, decenter from that shit. And you need to direct your energy toward creativity. Some of you men need to get in touch with your feminine current. Okay. Especially if you're musicians. I've been getting musician very heavily. Some of you guys are so afraid of tapping into that because you're already worn down and you are flinching at the water and air energy of the feminine current, right? The flow state, because you already feel ashamed for being weak. And unfortunately, our society convinces men that if you're weak, then you're being a girl, because the patriarchy don't like any of us. All right. And you got to decenter from that shit, because it's just not true. And those of us that know these occult systems and how the divine feminine masculine energies work within each and every one of us knows it's all bullshit. And you have to remind yourself of that. I feel like some of you guys know that already, but you need to remind yourself, and you need to stop feeling ashamed when you forget and when you don't know something either. Because I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. They feel, if I don't know all the answers, then you're flinching at yourself, and it creates blockages, and the system likes that. And I don't like that shit at all. So transitioning, innovation, redirecting your energy, and reception, withdrawal, disconnect. You need to disconnect from this shit, all right? You need to let the noise be noisy, because it's not going to change. You can change things in your own environment for sure. Your demographic, your subculture, your community. I'm not saying don't be that beacon of light, but don't let your ego or this purpose govern you, because it's going to wear you out. And people like to wear that more than just embody it and not care about it, simply because we're in a system that siphons validation from the collective in every demographic. And then we feel like we need those titles in order to feel. When I say special, I'm not trying to talk about the plastic crown concerts. You're like, oh, I'm special. I'm talking about you want to feel fucking seen. And you want to feel special because you are. Like, that's what I mean. I mean it on a real level. Don't let it govern you. Do the things you have to do, but you don't need to be burdened by it, is like the big message. You need to be in flow state in your own life. That doesn't mean you need to just turn your cheek on everything. At some point, sometimes you do in some ways, because if everybody's going to be bitching about this unethical system collapsing and we're not making any movement, then we got to kind of fucking say peace out and good luck. You know, you have to find balance with that, is my point. So in the last two cards, and I feel like this energy is for everybody, is deep, intense, transformative. This is this card. An initiation, spark, and your vision. So what you need to do is you need to get in touch with your higher self. And you get in touch with your higher self by knowing that you fucking know that there's something in you that knows you have the fucking potential. And God damn it, if you just have the resources and the energy. You need to shift your energy. You need to take it back from this shit. You need to take it back from the system. You're not a loser because you don't have millions of dollars. If you have land, by the way, and I think I've said this, and I've said it in the past on a different video. If you have land and like you're on a trailer, you have a lot more than most people. I'm going to tell you that some people who have like land, but you don't have the big house, fuck that shit. It doesn't matter. What matters is you have your sovereignty. What matters is you have some property and you can do whatever you want. There might be a gold mine on that goddamn thing. You know, you have to be innovative, like the cards were saying, and it doesn't matter. It could be your own house. You can be in an apartment. You don't need to look for it either. Let it call you. Let it come to you. You know, if you're like, I really love makeup, but makeup's very expensive. There's a lot of ways that you can make makeup and get in touch with our ancestral roots, as long as it's safe to do, because some things aren't safe to do, you know. But there are things that you can play around with. Or, like, I'm just using makeup as an example. You have blush, but you're not realizing you can use that as eyeshadow. You know, that sort of mentality, those little shifts, they help you expand. They help you see the simple things in your environment have so much more potential, but we're limited because capitalism teaches us we need 50 shades of this blush and the fucking makeup palettes, because it's not about not having those things if you're really wanting them, but it becomes so excessive that we don't appreciate them, and then the energy that you put into the things that you like, they no longer mean anything magical. You're not thinking about the color story on the face for your makeup. For those of you who are makeup artists, I've seen some gorgeous moon muffins that do gorgeous work on your makeup. Holy shit, I'm so impressed. And but you know, you already know what your eye can see, right? Don't be limiting yourself thinking, oh, I really wish I had this expensive palette, but it's like $100 now and this and that. And this is all manufactured for that reason. You can be innovative with what you have and create more of a palette for the things that you want to achieve with your face and use those resources. And I'm not saying just settle for that. I'm saying when you break out of that limiting paradigm in small ways, you will attract more. You will come across more. You will get good deals. You will have the money. Like, just don't worry about it. I'm telling you from experience, in so many ways, my life just literally operates like that, to the point where I had to accept it. And I don't always like it, because I like to be in control. Like I said, I am a big fat control freak, and I want to be in control and conduct everything so it can just work out smoothly, and I can adapt if it doesn't, but fuck me, I just want to get it fucking done. And that's not the lesson that some of us need to learn. It's not about learning lessons for everybody. It's about deprogramming. It's about deprogramming, because the system takes so much of your control that you feel like you got to control everything. You know, you feel like, trust me, I want to control the whole fucking universe, because I feel like it's failing and it needs to cave in on its ass and we need a restart, you know? And I'm like, who am I? I'm a fucking speckle in this shit. The fuck, Amber, calm down and go wrap your smoke bundles. You know, I have like lavender that I'm going to do some smoke bundles for you guys soon. And I need to just chill out a little bit. You know, we get over ourselves. Like I was speaking before about people wanting to be a beacon in their community, but it kind of wears you. You have to decenter from that shit. And it's still going to be a dance that you do. That's the thing too. A lot of people think like when you do shadow work and you go through all this shit, oh, I'm cured. Nope. You're going to realize how big of a fucking nutcase you really were the whole time. And that bitch is going to want to come out and play sometimes. And you're going to have to put that bitch to work. That's the bottom line. And then there's a freedom to that, because then you accept that of yourself without limiting yourself. And then you feel okay and you feel less ashamed. I'm not saying that you have to glorify it. You know, I'm not saying you have to be okay being an asshole toward innocent people, because some of you guys are a bit fucking nuts, dude. Especially on TikTok, some people get into my DMs, and I have it all blocked off now. And you will be saying the nuttiest shit, like, hey, I just want to see everybody crumble. It's like, okay, go to Israel, okay, you fucking Zionist? Because that's not what I'm trying to tell people here. I don't want that for anybody. I want people to get it together so we can fight this shit, so we don't have to be governed by a bunch of scumbags and then have to deal with our scumbag. I don't have scumbag neighbors, but you know what I mean. People in your community that are fucking it up. It sucks. Like, I have to fucking sue not only the government, but I'm in not only the real estate, but I'm in a dispute with my fucking dispensary because they were scumming me out of money, and they're doing it to all kinds of people. Now there's this investigation. You know, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it all. And I'm fucking over this shit. And trust me, I'm telling you now, you got to decenter from it, and those things will work themselves out. All right? Because it sucks. It really sucks. It's not to be a pessimist. I'm not a pessimistic person. I'm just a realist. But when you get the fuck away from those type of people, okay? These people, because some of y'all are nuts, dude. Okay? I'm not here for that shit. I am not suggesting that shit. I'm suggesting that we get our minds clear, so we can shift our paradigms and not be victims of this shit anymore. Because I really feel like if we're a bit tactical with our energy and you transmutate, a lot of you guys are adept in this, and it's different because YouTube, there's people who don't practice magic and you guys like listening, and there's a lot of adept practitioners. Where TikTok, everybody wants a fucking 15-second jig and a miracle, and I'm over it. I can't do it anymore. You've had years of it. And apparently thousands and thousands of tutorials that are available just aren't enough. And it's like, nope, you guys have turned into parasites, and you're just consuming because it's the dopamine high. And I just want another tutorial to fix my problem. Just fuck off out of here. It can't happen. You have to stop. I felt a breeze somewhere. Sorry, I felt like the gust of cold air. So I think I'm going to take that as a sign, because it's probably time for me to go to bed, as I mentioned earlier. But I hope that I was able to transcribe this message appropriately and not sound too much of like an asshole. But I have to admit, sometimes I want to be an asshole because my ego wants to fucking play and screw things up, and also tell everybody to get their heads out of their fucking asses and look in the mirror already, and let's get a grip, because this isn't working, you know, and this is not, This isn't, oh, how come this is not, what about the law? The law is not here for us. All right, I know I'm rambling still. The law, I can do whatever I want. The law is not fucking here to protect you. If it does, it's just leverage and noise to keep these people fucking in power, and it just keeps you occupied. Oh yeah, we'll give them an illusion. It's going to work for you. We care. No, they don't. None of those flock cameras are helping find missing children. They're just tracking people trying to get an abortion out of state or buy pot. You know, that's not fair. Police are allowed to abuse their fucking laws and they never pay any consequences. The taxpayers do. That's not fucking fair. It's all of these things, right? And when you let go of that, and then life's not fair and nothing's fair, and you realize that a lot of people are going to be stuck in the static, and there's nothing you can do about it. They're fucking programmed, or you're missing something and you don't know their lives, and maybe they got it clear somewhere else and that you don't. You just fuck out of it, and then you live your own life, and I guarantee you, your life will start shifting in ways that are ridiculous. And you have to just let go of expecting it. You have to just be in flow state. That is the energy that I have been emphasized on. So I'm going to wrap it up for tonight, you guys. And thank you for hanging out with me if you made it this far. I usually don't go this long, but I'll be back soon and I will have some better stuff. And I'll do some magic tutorials and stuff for you guys, some witchcraft. I've gotten a lot of requests on short format content. For Vanta Rook in particular, which is my Shadows account. You know, I always tell people. But I've just been pretty occupied and also busy resting in my spare time and not just trying to hustle all the time. But you guys take care and let me know how you're doing in the comments or message me on Instagram. Just don't fucking start telling me that Saint Michael and Satan are trying to have an orgy with you, because I just can't hear it anymore. I just want to, you know, connect with people sometimes, and I like hearing your stories. I'm not here to trauma dump on either, please. I'm used to it. I go if I don't go to the grocery store, but anytime that I do, or anytime that somebody has to repair something in my house, I have to hear somebody's really tragic story. I just kind of need a fucking break. That's all I ask. I'm not even asking, I'm expecting it. So, and that's the kind of energy you have to have in order for your life to shift. So you guys take care, and I'll talk to you soon.